believe Sarah was still talking to Lokar, maybe?
Yeah. I
Did
just
you?
showed him the mind player, and I showed him a little bit of the egg before I locked it back up in the room. Its own room.
Okay. He was kind of startled by the fact that there's a mind flayer there. Let's see, he was in the middle of talking about something. By the time that... See, anybody else wish to talk to Lokar for now? Until, basically, for the next night and day.
Doroth is just going to spend a lot of this time settling in, getting to lay the land, figuring out where everybody's businesses are, and stuff.
I walk with him since I'm still kind of new to the town. Still trying to... I know where everything is, but I kind of tore him around.
Ah. Oh, hey, I have a tour guide. This is lovely.
It's not really a tour guide. I'm just walking with you, keeping you company.
That sounds like a tour guide.
Fuck off.
Fucking terrorist.
Fuck tourists.
Wait a minute. Did I get any of the actual loot or gold from that?
I think there was the loot notes in there.
Oh yeah,
we're supposed to
Yeah, we were supposed to divide that.
Are there
about that.
Where are these alleged loot notes?
They're down in the handouts. Oh wait, I think only one of you can. Hold on, let's see if you can all see this or not.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, it's Player's Journey. Hold on, I'll have all players see that. I think there was more than that, but who knows? Because there was a bunch of like equipment, and there's a thing of gold somebody picked up.
Yeah, I know Black Cover picked up a bag of gold and all that. And some armor, and also there was the melted pile of gold, metals, and jewels. With some magic items destroyed in there.
I don't know if anyone actually picked up the gold medal, though.
Yeah, we did.
We would have had to go back.
No, we dragged it.
Oh, we dragged it? Oh yeah, that's right, because Daggett is like mega strong.
Yep.
I think it was only 200 pounds or so, or maybe 100. I mean...
I know Dragov had to push, Dragon push shows around how GM said it, nearly around like 4,000 to 5,000.
So how many how many PCs were in the dungeon?
Everybody.
Oh.
Did anybody not get their XP from last week?
I believe I did.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I did.
What was the XP we got last week?
It was like
I did.
2,000 something, I think.
Well, we can just scroll
Let's see here. Level.
We can just scroll up.
Level 9's got 2,448. Level 8's got 2,750.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't believe was enough for me to level up, obviously, which is sad. But
All I know is I leveled that from that experience.
Okay, I put a temporary thing together. I'll put in more details to it later. But a thing of how many people are currently in the Nexus, not including the PCs. So there's currently 57 citizens that you basically need to help feed and clothe, sort of. Well, they kind of have clothing right now, but they need food, and they've kind of taken over little empty buildings for places to sleep. Slaves/prisoners, 11. 3 nobles, which would be the Medusa and 2 kobolds. It's not including you guys, because you guys are non-PCs. And then there's 2 guests. I'm technically counting Lokar as a guest for the moment. Well, I'm not actually. I should say 3 guests because there's also Thorn, but yeah, no, you're not responsible for Thorn. Thorn kind of comes and goes as you please. So it's just Lokar and the winged cat girl. Unemployed. 55 of the 57 people are unemployed. There's only 2 people in any of the guilds, and nobody's actually employed by any of you guys in terms of the citizens.
I do have to ask this really quick. So there's the 3 nobles, right?
Yep.
Are they like in terms of material possessions? Are they wealthy?
You know that stint there
Relatively.
is. You don't know much of anything about the kobolds. The kobolds don't seem to have money per se. The one kobold collects knowledge and seems to be rather knowledgeable. He seems to be some kind of sorcerer with a scholarly bent, possibly, sorcerer, wizard, hybrid, or something like that. He's born with magic, but he also studies magic, that sort of thing. The other one is a shield sister. She has armor that she takes care of and status among her people.
Dang it. Because if they were actually had a lot of material goods and possessions, I'd basically be like, okay, communist revolution time.
Okay, so I'm gonna sacrifice 1,000 of my gold.
And remember, you guys are all considered nobles here in the Nexus, so that'd be all of your wealth.
Hey, I would be the last man standing, therefore it'd be all my wealth.
Did I mention that one of them is a Medusa? All she has to do is take off her mask.
I know, I'm joking.
Don't worry, you'll be
Yeah,
rock
I
hard
believe
once
I would be the
I'm-
last one standing.
Oh yeah, because you're Lan, and Lan is busted as fuck.
I'm gonna hand 1,000 gold to my mind flayer, and just in case they can start paying some people if they want to be employed to start helping the skeletons rebuild the city.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put. Sorry, meaning to you guys. I was gonna put a listing for the undead that work for the Nexus now, even though they're technically under Sarah's control. They are would be listed as Nexus thingies.
Workers.
The
Yeah,
construction
there's-
crew.
Yeah, there's like 50. Oh, that's right. That was the other thing I was gonna do with that, but I got so tired from last night. Worked very late.
So effectively speaking, there's no non-NPC guilds right now.
No, because everything was basically level. Basically, you've wandered into the ruins of an ancient city.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. You found all those skeletons in around the box. I forgot about those.
Yeah. So, there's no banking industry here.
Nope. You guys finally only recently decided that you were going to use the gold standard as your because everybody else has just been using like food and scrap as trading materials.
Yeah, I'm like Black's right now. It's currently, you want me to fix your shit, bring me materials at the moment.
Wait, so are people starving, right?
No. It's basically it's broken down to pure barter system. Basically, it's kind of like Fallout or Metro, where basically they're just bartering scraps of everything in order to get like a little bit of food, or they're bartering food away.
The kobolds are basically the richest people in the area because they have they're self-sufficient and they pretty much have been leaving their mountain to search for old bits of things that they can learn. But a group of them decided to settle down in Sector 1 with you and help you out.
But we don't have any source of food, right?
I need.
We have a farm going.
You guys have been working on an underground farm. You guys have been using the skeletons for that. You can decide how many people you wish to employ down there.
Yeah, I'm also have the Grey Render constantly bringing food in from the other side of the portal.
Yeah, and
I got the
magic food box.
yeah, and there's also rats that you guys sometimes catch and other stuff like that.
Does that mean she hears them scream?
Probably.
Yes, for Sunset. I'm sorry.
It's okay. At least we won't cast daylight on her.
First we had the guy that can't daylight on himself. Now we're fucking having her tormented by the screams of the freaking rats.
It's okay,
They die quickly. They don't
Batari
really
is tormented by other screams from her past, so she knows how to handle it. Sadly.
But can she handle Hector?
You're a little extra, but besides that, yes.
By the way, when I'm actually not actually working on anything, unless people are bringing me stuff all the time, Like, if I'm not doing anything in the shop, I'm just gonna bust open a part of the floor and basically make an underground basement. Just because I can.
Alright.
But for now, we're gonna have you smelt the gold and from the iron from each other.
And stamp it with a Doge.
That I can do.
So
Yeah,
actually-
you're gonna also.
So you're going to put make actual coins. Is what you're saying. You're going to do coins of the realm.
What now?
I'm saying is you're going to
Going
make
to
actual.
mint.
You're minting your own coins specifically for this area.
Well, I have coins in my possession, so technically, all I have to do is grab one of my coins, make a mold, pour gold in the mold, and
No, I'm saying because Hector seems to want one with his face on it.
I would argue that we actually create our own currency. That way, when we build this place into like the world's greatest industrial and banking capital the universe has ever seen,
Our gold will
our
be worth
currency-
more.
yeah,
well,
exactly.
the problem
Our
with
gold
that,
will be
the
worth
problem with
more.
that is unless I have an actual coin to make the mold, because actually I probably could take. I'm not an artisan, so
I'm
making
an
your
artisan.
face on a coin probably is not something I can do. You're gonna have to make someone make a mold for me to start making the currency.
I want
I'll
this
make
to
a
be the
mold.
back
I'm
of
a
the coin.
jeweler.
I want that on the back of the coin.
I have no crafting skills, but I do have a 12 in appraise, so
So gold, silver,
you get there.
copper, and platinum roll fine.
Yes,
yeah.
gold, silver, copper.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have
And
to
you
make
said
sure
with
the
dog
coin
face,
is.
correct?
And I'm gonna have to keep one of my the older coins to make sure it weighs the same amount of the gold weight. It's made with the same amount of gold as all other currency in the world. Because
Are we gonna
it's
are we
it's
gonna
not
have
the coin
Hector's
that's
face on
non-gold,
it?
It's the gold.
Yeah, Hector's face is the head side of lotus flowers on the tail side.
Okay, as Dorth is walking through the ruins of this once great city, he notices that indeed there is no bank. How are people supposed to buy things and renovate the entire area if they can't take out loans?
All you can see right now is a bunch of skeletons walking past you, carrying stuff, carrying debris.
Exactly.
Bring me all the metal.
You're
The
gonna have to go
skeletons
to
do
a
not respond
drown.
to you. Only Sarah seems to be able to do, and maybe Hector have any sway over them.
Well, you could also ask the drown.
Well,
If you
yeah.
get
Like,
close.
if I see these skeletons like throwing away perfectly good metal, I'm gonna go up to you and fucking say,
They're not actually
"Oi,
throwing it. They're not actually
bring-"
throwing anything away. They're basically shifting anything they find in a building that's structurally sound and shifting it to an empty place that currently has nobody there, so that the building can be salvaged. Basically, other people like various kobolds and other unemployed individuals are sifting through these mounds to find anything of use from them.
Yeah,
Basically, 'cause
but
they don't have any
I let
special
you
jobs,
know
so they're
that
just
I
kinda
need
scavenging.
metal to work in materials. So if your cells can find any like metal or shit, I can melt that down into ingots, which I can then use later to make stuff.
Would you like to hire anybody for your shop?
I don't got the money right now to do that.
Well,
Well,
technically,
actually,
they do work for food, so
Well, technically, they could always go to the Mind Flayer and ask for a job. He could set them a location. Don't worry.
Because holy crap, I think I just found, even though I wasn't intending of actually staying attached to this place, because I didn't think my character would totally be up for anything like that. Now that there's no banking industry, I think he'd totally be up for that.
So is he gonna make the coin presses, and once the currency is smelted?
Well, he's more the trader. I don't think I actually have any crafting for him. Yeah, I don't.
Okay. Well, basically, he could always supervise somebody else that has such type of skill, such as maybe one of the kobolds, to do that. They have no experience with actually making money, but that doesn't mean they can't, run a press and they help out with smelting. If they have somebody supervising them, they could do it.
Ah, so I can be a manager. Ah, I knew I was born for this role.
Damn,
Where
I
you
was trying
do
to
nothing and get paid the most.
Yep.
Funny thing is, all the coins that are the currency that's going to be made is going to pass through my hands first.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to be watching you to make sure you don't pocket any.
So basically,
Get the hell out of my shop! I'm working. You're a distraction. As I throw hammers and other tools at you.
Don't worry.
Dodge a wrench, you can dodge an anvil hammer.
How's about a handful of molten iron?
I am resistant to it. I am fine.
Don't worry.
Good luck cleaning it off you out once it dries.
Can hide in the shadows. Stays in the shadows.
Yeah. Either way.
So by the next day, as you guys are all making decisions about the coins and everything like that. Let's see here.
Sarah's taking care of the egg, making sure it stays warm and all that.
Okay, we have a group of people showing up at the board. One of the, since this morning now, a group of people have now shown up at the edge of the border. In fact, this is since it's brought to Stinthair's attention, she's actually talking about installing an actual gate that people can just gather at, and that can potentially let people in and out while you're not here, if you're okay with that.
A gate that's kind of inside the barrier a tiny bit, so if they do get to the barrier, but it's too close to night, they won't get in.
Basically, the swarm will not be able to get through it. Basically, just during the day, the barrier will be able to allow people in, kind of like an iris, but not without gate security, of course, but
proper paperwork.
Well, they won't have paperwork. Most of them can't even read. But
show me your papers, please.
Oh my god, get out of here, German. I know where you're going with this.
Oh, the wall just got 10 feet taller.
Okay.
To hide an elf from us is almost as bad as to be an elf yourself.
Okay. Well.
Okay, I'm done with that bit now. I'm done.
Okay, so Yuki's gonna go ahead and take.
One second, I'm telling you what type of people have actually shown up at your door here. 20 for that one. I like making my rolls with my actual dice. As long as my cat's asleep, it's all good. Okay. So, okay. You have two groups of people that have shown up together. The first group is a mixture of both elves and drow. Basically, elves of all kinds is another way of putting it. So you see people that are probably wood elves, regular elves, high elves, and even drow all kind of lumped together because apparently they, are clinging together at this point after all this time in the ruins. Another group is extremely different from them. There are 9 very stocky ogres. Sorry, there are 11 very stocky ogres standing there, practically behind the elves. The elves do not seem completely alarmed by this.
I'm so surprised that there's a bunch of different kinds of elves standing together and not trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
They've been through a lot here. This basically tells you what sort of horrors have been inflicted on them over the last 1,000 years or so. Lokar's given you some details. The fact that civilization was collapsing before the Nexus was even built. That something happened while he was in stone for 100 years. Between the time he got turned to stone, when everything was fine, except that people were fighting an elder god, and then he got turned to stone during that battle, and then 100 years later, when apparently this creep has been apparently there's been a shake-up of the continents, plus now there's this creep that's climbing everywhere, and everybody's been being drawn into the Nexus. But for some reason, the elves who are not fighting each other are not only are the elves not fighting each other, but they're not even acknowledging the fact that there's a bunch of ogres standing behind them, also waiting to come in.
Don't worry, muscle meets muscle.
The ogres still look pretty stocky, but they they basically look like they've had enough of whatever they've been living out there on, and would much rather be close to you guys than to be stuck out where they've been.
We found the police force.
Yep.
What? No, they're gonna be dancers.
The ogres are going to be dancers?
My pub.
No, the ogres are going to be strippers.
I'm gonna open the first Chippendales.
God.
Honestly, I see a bunch of guys who can haul a bunch of metal over to my shop.
Yeah,
Are you
I
going
see
to let
the
these people in?
Drow are really good at
Question them
like
first. Question them first.
Drow are really good at like excavating caves and stuff, right?
I
Yeah.
think they just live there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have to expand somehow.
They
so
have
would have to be able to.
Drow tend to know magic. You see several of them. Actually, I'm gonna go with. There's 3 of them. 2 appear to be a married couple, or at least they're clinging together in such a way that you would think, married couple. It comes to mind.
You mean the female's like holding the other one by its neck?
Well, married couple from your perspective, they don't appear to be under normal aggressiveness that you would expect from a drow. Apparently they've been living with these other elves for 1,000 years, so some civilization has, dripped up on them. But the third drow was another female, and she's just kind of standing there with the cloak wrapped around her, her red eyes staring out at you. The rest appear to be normal elves of some various kinds. Some with dusky skin, some with very pale skin, some with dark hair, some with light hair. Basically, a full mix between high elves and wood elves.
The bard's running up and enthusiastically greet them.
Oh, they're going to be greeted by 2 parties: the Boneclaw and Dagoff, and the bard.
The bard being by far probably the nicest.
Don't you know Fluffy's the nicest out of all of them?
I've seen Fluffy work. He's not nice.
The odds, since they're not threatening each other, married couple are, the first to nod at the bard, although they seem a little bit fearful of of Fluffy. The ogres don't seem to be taking any notice of this, and the other elves are kind of chatting to each other in Elven.
Fluffy's just gonna say, "Head this way to get you documented."
All right. So with the this part of the field being opened up by you guys, the various
We need a customs office now.
Yeah, that's what see, this is what basically Cynthia was talking about. Cynthia's saying that you guys need to build a customs office. This will take several days and divert the skeleton's attentions to working on it.
Yeah, does this mean we need to create ice?
Do this for my guild.
Not yet, because nobody can enter in without you guys' permission.
Yeah. Are we seriously gonna have to make immigration's custom enforcement in this now?
Well,
Yes.
when it comes to the portals, basically controlling the inflow of people is basically all you need to worry about. You don't need to worry about people slipping in just yet.
I could also do this, have the Mind Flayer do it, since the Mind Flayer automatically gets detect dots too. He could be the customs officer. I could also just shift my guild, since nobody's really in my guild right now, besides the Egg and the Mind Flayer.
Well, actually, I was figuring you just use the same customs offices by the portals that you're planning on building over there.
Well, that is true. But,
The first government building in our world.
That will take several days. This will take several days to finish building, but you'll be able to make a gate down there by the portals, which should make things easier. That you can just basically keep all your customs and customs enforcement all together in one place instead of having to build 2 different customs offices.
Oh, that is actually
Because
really
basically, once you expand the range of your your field here, the only customs office you'll need will be for the portals in this area.
that is true. Yeah,
So
and
it's
then I
just
could just
easier
have the Mind Flayer shift over there to work.
Yeah. So, who said they wanted to hire some ogres?
I guess. Billy Bill's lands. What's his lands? Alex.
Crap, I was trying to put that over.
Alex
Weapons?
number 2. Dragon folk.
What? I can't hear you.
The blacksmith wanted to hire people.
Ah, yes.
I clicked the wrong thing on Discord. So, Sarah, ignore that. I accidentally clicked the wrong thing on your name because I was turning you up.
Yeah. Let's see, that'd be 68.
Oh, thank you for the invite for the Discord.
You're welcome. It was an accident, but there you go.
I would never forget this.
So you're up to 77 citizens, and you should employ how many? Wait, is there? Oh, yeah, there is a thing. The blacksmith.
Yeah, as many that wants to be employed and start working for their families.
Okay. Who wants to employ what? Because we're basically going with PCs for the moment until we expand the area. All these shops are your shops. Therefore, you have to decide how many you want in each, and if you have a preference for race or anything like that.
I don't have any money to employ people, so
You also don't have a shop currently.
yeah.
I need to first get. I first need to get my share of the loot and stuff before I do anything.
Just remember, at the moment, these people just work for food, so you don't need to worry about paying them just yet. You can set that up as we go. We just want to know, because right now nobody's employed. They're just all kind of scavenging. So.
Well, with the food that we're getting, how many people can we supply? Is there like a number of people that we can actually like supply for, or are we going to be like running low on food?
Or we just hire everyone to do that.
Yeah, at the moment, you will need more things. Okay.
I am using one of the lesser spawner calices to also help the Grey Render hunt. So meat should be coming in a little bit more faster.
Okay. Also, we're probably this is probably going to be an eventuality, but I don't think we need it now. We're probably going to be needing a Department of Public Works in order to manage basically, well, where buildings are going in the future, where buildings possibly go in the future, possible sewer lines in the future. Like we
basically city skylines, like the city planner. Like, okay, how many people can we feed? Are anyone starving? Are they getting water? Who's, God forbid, later in the campaign, who's paying taxes?
Well, I mean, if we're really gonna start making people pay taxes, especially like food taxes, we're probably gonna then need to create a skeleton army that would basically be the IRS.
Yeah.
Actually, technically, it would be the Secret Service.
I have an idea.
Service's original.
Real quick. Whoever doesn't have money, add 330 gold to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Add 330 gold. All right.
Yes. That is a loan from Sarah.
Thank you,
Oh,
Sarah.
well, he's gonna turn that down then. He just wants his loot.
Yeah, we want literal loot, not.
No,
Not
that's for right now. Until we get
337.
330 gold.
And 30 gold. Okay.
Okay, that's for you guys to at least.
Gold.
No.
Thank you, Sarah, for the loan.
Okay, Sarah, why are you so far away from your mic?
All right. But has anyone ever seen The Last of Us or played The Last of Us?
Yes.
Yes.
You know how they had like those slips of paper saying ration papers or whatever or not they are using to distribute out food and stuff?
Yep.
Let's try to set up a system like that.
All right.
For
Who's
now,
got materials to do that with?
Oh, I'm just inputting the idea. Like I'm not actually doing it. I'm throwing this idea on the table
Actually,
for the entire party to look at.
In terms of currency for right now, that probably would be the best bet since nobody has any gold. So we can
Exactly.
totally do it off of ration tickets.
Yeah, these ration tables are basically basically become the currency until we get actual currency going, and everyone will have something to work towards. Like, oh, if you do this, you get these ration tokens. All right, sweet, I'll do that.
Is
And we
that
can start
showing
hiring
up for everybody
people.
right now?
Yeah. So let's.
What are we looking at?
People of the Nexus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we should probably bring that one to a vote. Actually, well, at least the people who are actually in charge of this place. Yeah. you
Farm
should probably-
area first. I mean,
Yes, farming.
if they refuse to eat magical food, we might as well set up a farm area.
Yeah.
Wait, they're refusing to eat magical food? Are they stupid?
Yeah, that's what I said, but I mean...
No, they're not refusing. I was saying it's not going to last forever because the magic does exhaust after time. Basically, the magical food is the equivalent of, a basic ration in the real world, something like sawdust almost in eating versus, a steak that somebody could have.
That's why we have prestidigitation.
It's like moon food versus actual food.
Okay.
You know what we need?
Prestidigitation changes flavor.
You know what we need?
Prestidigitation would work on one thing each, and you don't have enough to do that.
It's
You
a
know what
level
we
0
need?
spell, I can make something.
You know what we need, actually? One of those portals to be opened up to a world where there's no sentient life. It's just a barbaric wilderness or whatever. And we send in hunting parties to go out for big game. Yeah, and
Well, eventually the meat would run out if we didn't have breeding grounds there.
Well, it's an entire fucking world, isn't it?
Yeah, but at the same time, we would also have to then preserve the meat and basically smokehouse.
Okay.
Yeah,
Night is starting to
There's
fall.
no way we can exhaust a wildlife if the entire world. It's impossible.
Sarah's gonna concentrate on her undead for now.
The dangerous part is we have to send actual trained hunters because we don't know what kind of creatures will be in that world. They can be hunting boars the size of bears. One wrong move and you're impaled between
And then
tusk
they
and a
get attacked
tree.
by velociraptors.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Basically, Monster Hunter style.
So
Yeah. I will have Dagoff be training some.
But if it does work, we have a source of hunting and food gathering, and if people die, less mouths to feed.
And there's food.
And if they succeed, they bring back big game that feeds hundreds.
Yeah.
So
but first, we need to open up more portals because I no longer have the keys to open more portals. But we do have a person that has seen them open before, which is Mr. Chaotic Stupid. How I see him.
Is any of the portals open right now that can go somewhere where we could actually hunt big game?
There is, but it's still a 99% risk of them finding us out, which I really don't want to deal with right now. Other than that, we still have another portal that opens to a plane of death.
Yeah, we still need a druid.
Yep.
A druid basically finds that one spell that goes, I can grow a forest.
Well, Sarah
Well-
did ask the Ruby or Dark.
So they would need the plant domain.
Yeah,
Yes.
that asked for a thing to help us out with farming before we went on that little adventure back into the dungeon.
Or just get the guys to make precision boxes, like.
Wait, what did you
boxes-
just say? What did you just say about farming?
What?
I can
What?
barely hear you. So, what did you just say about farming?
Oh no, Sarah did ask the Crystal before we went on the adventure in the dungeon if we could get somebody that could help us for farm.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Let me give me a couple of minutes, and I will have. As soon as I finish typing this out, and I will have that interaction up.
Also, thrown on the table right here now, secret underground tunnel network.
not yet. That would require a lot of labor for now.
Well, I'm gonna start making my house a basically let's say already has payment, and I'm gonna start making one myself in my free time.
Well, I mean, I'm going to. I mean, I have Sunset tailing me, or at least with me. So,
Yeah.
Aw, your first
yeah.
date.
So I'm actually going to. Yeah, shut up.
Is it
So-
bad I actually have a shovel in my pocket?
So, okay.
Is that a
So-
shovel in your pocket, or are you just happy to see us?
So I'm going to. I'm actually going to look for a building that could have possibly at least once been a bank. In other words, he's going to be looking for a building that actually had a vault, or at least looked like it had a vault.
Okay.
Fortunately, none of the buildings in this area seem to fit that bill. I think somebody else was already looking for that at one point. If they did, the skeletons probably removed all the material from it already because it was in too bad of a shape.
Shite.
Well, just have your skeleton and bring me a crap ton of metal. I will start making bars and shit and other crap.
Yeah.
I mean that's simple enough work that I could easily do. Like I don't think anything to roll for that.
To give you
There's
metal
the
now.
page I was looking for.
All I'm doing is making like metal.
I don't know if you guys know what I'm doing in the town, but I will be doing a museum because I thought it would be cool. So
Why do we need a museum?
I'm gonna steal all.
because I'm a rogue, I'm a
thief.
thief. I steal shit, and so we're gonna put it on display.
So
My own
other
personal
rogues
collection.
can steal it.
If
Yeah.
All right.
at
So
any one
who's
point
current-
I find any of my crap in your little museum, you're going through the wall.
Who's currently sitting around the table in the Citadel? Because you guys were working out what you're going to do with the town.
Yeah,
Me.
I'll be there.
All
Yeah,
right.
I guess Sarah's gonna be.
I'm there because I put
Okay.
down that one idea with the food stamps or food tickets or ration tickets, whatever you want to call them.
Which basically Cynthia said that if that's the case, she'll gather up materials when she goes to visit the the inn, or back to Darkhaven, and it'll take a couple days to get everything together and bring it back. As you guys have finished up your talking, the crystal that has currently been set on the table starts to glow.
Looks like we got a guess.
Wait, what? What's this crystal do?
It's gonna blow up, run!
The bard jumps on it. Protect everyone.
A true hero. Give that man a
Sarah's
Bronze
gonna-
Star, Medal of Honor, and 3 purple.
Sarah's
I
gonna
heard
be
explosions, which I wasn't concerned with, but now that there's a corpse on the explosion, and I don't want to get sprayed by blood, so I'm ducking.
It's not going to explode. Those of you you've already seen this crystal, already know what this crystal is, have seen it glow before and know what it precipitates. Those of you who
I haven't.
last person who came from the crystal or who haven't seen the crystal before probably are unprepared for it, but the rest of you have seen it happen before.
So Sarah's gonna have the Bone Club pick Jack from on top of the crystal.
Someone roll a 1d2.
Alright, I got this.
Hopefully, it's a neutral line, not a good
Okay.
one.
As the crystal a flash of light comes out, permeates the room, and suddenly a large man, kind of looks like a pig. Question for you guys. Do you know if there's a porcine race in D&D, or is it just orcs?
What kind of race?
Horse pig.
Basically, because I'm taking characters from my own worlds and creations. The only thing and I put down farmer, bartender, monk, dancers, that sort of thing. Basically, lists of things that you guys might need. The one that you guys just rolled for happens to be that I've described him mostly as a pig-like looking. And the only thing I can think of in D&D that's pig-like is probably orcs, but he's not exactly an orc.
There's beast folk called Port, but I think that's a homebrew.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
I'll
I mean,
just have
Yeah,
I guess I could just go with orc, and he's a very pig-like looking orc.
but
that's okay with you.
Grizz, you're God. You can literally create anything that you want.
Yeah, I know. I've already got several of those that I'm going. That, for example, the way that some of the cat people are. But there's another character who's going to show up eventually who is very much a complete creation of mine. So I wanted to basically get the other ones into D&D format races instead of having to use that. So I'm just going to go with he's got orc stats if you ever need to deal with him or anything like that. But you got this enormous man who vaguely resembles an orc of some kind. Kind of shaggy hair. In fact, he's got hair all over and kind of furry. Not entirely. With a kind of mouth that kind of sticks out. He kind of blinks as he looks around and just kind of rubs his head.
Try not to stare.
He's kind of standing right next to the table where you guys are. Where am I? What the? He kind of grunts in a gruff common. There's it's kind of a stench wafting off of him. Very earthy.
What the? Where did this guy come from?
Hector. He was summoned here by the crystal, as I asked for it to help us somebody to grow our farm.
Wait, that crystal kidnaps people?
No, that crystal, from seeing what it does, people that are near death get summoned.
Like,
Oh, so instead of dying, he gets sent here.
Yes.
That's how I got here.
that's how you got here, Mr. Guy. You caught an explosion.
So.
Oh yeah, like I wasn't paying attention about the explosion. I didn't know how bad it was. Like I just heard a bang behind me as my apprentice blew up.
And it didn't occur to you ever to try and pretend to be the afterlife and put people to work.
We save people from hell by bringing them to hell.
Anyway, the guy is just like staring at you guys openly. He rubs his face and got kind of an orky noise coming from his mouth.
The bard waves while hanging from whoever's currently holding him.
Fluffy.
Hi, welcome to hell.
Well, welcome to Limbo,
you,
actually, because technically you're not dead. And how was he going to die? This guy doesn't look much of a
Well, it
did
depends
something
on
happen,
what-
dude, or were you about to die or somehow?
The guy kind of blinks and kind of looks around and goes, "Well, my dome kind of sprung a leak, and I was rushing to repair it, and I heard this cracking noise, and I think it was about to shatter, which would have been very painful way to die." He kind of grimaces.
So the way I see it, you actually owe us a favor then. You're still alive. We require somebody whose expertise are farming.
Well, I guess I'm your man. I've been farming the same asteroid for many a year.
Wait, what?
Asteroids, they're things in space.
Space pig.
Some points an int.
Yeah, basically, he's a space farmer's dome, the protective dome to keep his oxygen broken. It would have killed him.
You need a spacesuit?
No, he's not in a spacesuit.
Oh, there's your
He
problem.
was in a dome. He doesn't need a spacesuit.
He's a space pig! That's why he can talk! It's like Winston from Overwatch.
Oh god.
Land
Space
gets
pig.
up. Land gets up, turns around, and says, "I'm out," and leaves.
I rest my case.
He goes, well, the name. Oops. Well,
If you want me, I will
the
be
name's-
making sure the kobolds actually bring me useful crap.
Real quick, Hector used to remove disease. We don't want no swine flu.
Well, the name's
Alright.
Bizix. He kind of makes a noise with that. It's might be difficult to pronounce his name properly.
The bard
what-
speaks up and just asks if you can call him Winston.
He frowns. Why Winston?
We have
The
our
bard
reasons.
shrugs.
Don't you know? It's an intelligent name and also one with nature.
Well, I
Amazing.
suppose if you want to call me Winston, and don't really have a problem with that. It's been a while since I've been around people.
Well,
for the
like,
traders.
you were in space, so I would assume so.
Yep, not too much company there, just the occasional trader.
Anyway, so, shall we scout out plots of land for you to, well, grow things in?
Sure. Where
Don't
am I anyway?
He looks to
Welcome
Sarah.
to Hector. Welcome to New Hector.
New Hector.
We really ought to make it.
What
so it's
happened to
not
the old
a
Hector?
person.
No, it got destroyed. Somehow.
I ate a bad sandwich.
He ate a bad sandwich and he gassed an entire settlement with it.
So what kind of farming should I be doing? I don't seem to have any seeds with me.
Well, we need
Well, we'll gauge that based off of what the soil has.
well,
Oh,
we
hey.
need nutrients for the people, something to feed them, and that won't cause them any harm.
Grizz, did you
Yep.
get my message that I sent you?
Nope, I don't see any messages on Roll20.
It didn't go through?
Not on the game screen, no. Last person I
Wow.
saw was Yuki rolling.
It would have been right above Yuki, but I'll send it again.
Oh, Leofire. Oh, the one about the Medusa. Okay.
Put 7 of that towards seed. 7
Okay.
gold towards seed.
Because I figured that's what since she's already spoke to you about the fact that she was going to go back and take a several-day visit to the nearest city in Darkhaven to collect supplies with some of that money.
Yeah. But yeah, put 7 of that gold there to seed for crops. I just thought of that.
She kind of reached over and pats you on the head and says, "Don't worry, I already thought about it."
The bar throws his hands up in joy.
Just for her extra protection, I'm sending 2 of my little shadows just to protect her.
And I will be right back.
So she heads off. Physics, or rather, you're calling him Winston now. Should write that down.
You got lucky that I'm a charismatic person.
Winston heads out to survey the potential farming sites. He's like, "Woo-hee, what happened here? This whole city seems to be a ruin."
It was like that when we got here.
Promise.
That's what they all
Well-
say.
Well, at least I'm good with my hands in other ways, too. Starts looking around. I guess maybe I'll have to build some sort of irrigation system, water collection. He ventures.
Yes, we do need that.
Excellent. I shall take care of it with the right materials. Where can I get some of those materials?
What are the materials you need?
He kind of gives a list of like various like copper and other supplies like such as things that he could build. Some what do I want to say? Not alcohol related still, but a way of water purifier. That it's kind of looks like a still, but it's for water.
Yeah, just a distillery.
Well, yeah.
It
is still a
use
distillery.
the same distillery for alcohol as you can water. It's just distilled water. You'd think it would have like this nice pure taste to it. No, it's kind of ass.
And so it doesn't matter. It just needs to irrigate the plants that it'll be built in. He also needs to basically create some soil, and is talking about how to reclaim, latrine givings or leavings, I should say. To basically fixing the sewer problem we have here in the city.
Well, I mean, fertilizer.
Yeah, reclaiming fertilizer from people.
Yeah. Which means we're now gonna need public outhouses. And wait, can we charge people for the public outhouses?
No.
Shit.
And it's not a good idea because they need them to be able to produce food in the first place.
Wait a minute, we're needing the fertilizer, so if we could actually pay people to use the toilets.
Or we let them do it for free.
Yeah, just provide them a nice toilet for free. And maintain it.
Keep in mind, I'm going to be charging you just the same.
Well, yeah, but here's the other flip side. If they're 100% for free, then what's stopping them from just looking at that, going, "Oh, hey, I could totally just build that next to my house."
Because none of them have houses. They're all kind of stuffed together in barracks. They don't think about that sort of thing. They're not necessarily good enough with their hands unless you train them to do that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they've been in ruin for like the past 1,000 years. Never mind.
Yeah, they don't know how to build that.
I pull back my case. These guys are the most sheep people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, sorry for the late reply, Chris. There you go. Well.
Okay, so Winston is currently looking over the potential farmlands. Winston would very much like to get some of the people together who aren't running away at the sight of him, because he sort of looks like an orc, but more with more hair, like kind of like as if an orc was a werewolf, except not a wolf. You know,
So
very
more like
hairy.
a boar.
So like a
Boar,
bugbear?
yes.
Sarah's gonna investigate that with Dagoff and the Bone Claw.
Now would you like to proceed with your investigation?
See now. Okay. Battle tactics now. Just in case if it's an intruder. Have exchange for the greater spawn of Khaleesi's to get into my favorite spawn just to be ready for combat, so Dagoff and also the Bone Claw. As Sarah is going to make sure everybody's out of the area where this sense is coming from.
Oh, well, the shadow basically doesn't know where it's coming from. Just knows that it's inside Sector 1 at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Sarah's also going to have the Bone Claw go search for the crazy guy. Now.
Looker's not crazy anymore.
But still, keep an eye on him.
Yeah, Looker's just kind of poking around, looking around the Citadel, still kind of settled in. The Bone Claw does report seeing Thorn in a very strange getup, sitting at a weird table with some sort of weird orb sitting on top of it.
She is fortune teller.
Sarah's just gonna go over then, saying, "Are you the sense that of what my stuff is feeling?"
Thorn kind of looks at her as if you're crazy, then chuckles, pulling at her strange getup, which looks like a very garish, very colorful, hiding her horns underneath of it. It's definitely some sort of crystal ball sitting on the table, and there's enough room in front of her for looks like a deck of cards that she seems to be dealing out. Come, sit.
Half of me is saying this is a trap, but the other half is...
Oh, great. Only guess, I'm making farm tools in the near future.
Well, farm tools are very, very useful. You need to be able to feed your people, and then they'll be able to work for you and be able to produce stuff while you're away. I mean, that's basically.
All right, farm tools top priority. I'm pretty sure making farm tools is a lot easier than making a sword.
That is very true.
Sarah's gonna sit down.
So yeah, I'm gonna need a crap ton of scrap to make bring me metal basically, and I'll make the farm tools.
In the meantime, I'm going to walk around and try to find some able-bodied peons, let's call them. They're even below peasant at this point. Peons. To become farmhands.
Let's see how many people you attract.
So yeah, so how many kobolds are actually giving me some scrap at this point?
1 second, I'm calculating something else right now. What page to find that information? Okay. All right. Hey, Lyra, get off of that. Lyra, off the keyboard. No, get off the keyboard.
Bad kitty, bad, off.
She sees me rolling the dice and she wants to play with them.
Oh.
They're like little small things you can knock around or eat. That's what she's thinking. But anyway, no, you find about 11 people that are now, sorry, that are busy gathering up, just random scrap. They look over at you, saying, "Oh, you need farmers?" One of them asks.
Doroth explains that we are going to start trying to till some of the land in order to grow crops. Make it easier for everybody else to eat.
The various people start cheering at this. This is apparently the best news they've heard in a while. They set down their burdens of scrap collecting and are ready to take up arms as farmers. Let me put people of the Nexus up.
Line up for your tools at Nonstop. I got it for a name for the shop.
You finally have a name for the shop?
No, I need a name for the shop or for the blacksmithing area.
The Dragonfire Forge.
Let's call it the Dragon Forge. Let's call it the Dragonfire Forge or something like that.
Okay.
You should just like bleed your stuff every now and then, so that way you can technically quench blades and dragon's blood.
I don't think half dragon blood counts.
Okay, fine. Quench blades and half dragon blood.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing we'd been discussing last time about Lograth. Lon was saying,
I'm not bleeding over my creations.
Anyway.
Well, you're not a woman.
Yeah, you're not willing to suffer for your art?
Art is for looking at. I make shit to kill people.
And that is not art?
Hey, he doesn't have to bleed. He's not a woman.
What? Yeah, yeah, like, people will bleed, it just won't be me.
Anyway, let's see. So we now have 11 farmers. Congratulations.
Yay! I think I know until I get enough like capital and goods to open up the frickin' bank. I think I'm just going to be an employment broker.
Excellent.
In other words, slave trader.
No, they're not slaves. It's against the charter.
Wait, for real?
Not really.
Yep.
Well, not the one I drafted.
You guys already drafted the charter. Look back up. Oh, hold on. I'll bring it up.
You can't create slaves, but like you can't be born a slave, but you can have your own slaves that you brought out.
Prisoner enslavement only.
Okay, okay, I see what you mean with that. How about indentured servants?
That's fine.
Servants are fine.
Okay.
Those are called maids.
But that means they have to owe you, or you're going to give them a good service for their service.
Okay, well, I mean, crap. I mean, I could just draft up contracts and have them mark with an X like the Native Americans. They give me 10% of their stuff. In exchange, I will find them work.
How many?
These people don't actually have anything, so.
How many orcs do we get in?
You don't currently have any orcs. You just, except for the Winston guy, who's sort of an orc.
How the people are coming in?
Today it was 9 elven types and 11 ogres.
Ogres, right? Can we draft the ogres to be a security force?
Sure. Somebody will have to explain to them what that means. Somebody has to be their overseer.
Have fun, Hector.
The thing is, I have increased
I have a better
employment rate by over 1,000% today.
You know those things that you use to till the fields with? Those big ass things you put a horse or something on it to make it go faster?
Yep.
Let's make some of them and make them drag it.
Plus, we already have
farmers. You don't have any actual farmland right now. You basically have to start breaking up the old concrete in order to create usable land. We're going to have to find some way of bringing dirt in, such as maybe from Darkhaven across the other side of the portal. Either way, it's fine.
We can have
Give the ogres hammers.
Yeah, we can have the 11 newly employed peons do it.
You have the ogres start breaking up the ground while the farmers start to try to farm whatever is broken up.
Yeah, for right now, let's see. Sarah is currently sitting in front of Thorn. Is anybody else with Sarah at the moment?
I'll come by.
Leofire's hanging with the elves.
I'm like riding around my scheduled steed. I'll stop by where she's at.
Yeah, you see that Thorn is sitting there wearing gypsy garb, sitting in front of a crystal ball, and has tarot cards laid out.
I slide up next to Thorn like, hey, do you see me and you together in the future?
She kind of smiles a bit at you. Sit down.
Hector, are you going to accept her offer?
Sit down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I sit like right next to her, across from Sarah, basically.
Basically, you blink, and suddenly you're sitting next to Sarah instead of Thorn. Thorn is still sitting where she is, but you're now next to Sarah. Now.
Here you go first, Hector. She is your woman.
Oh.
What should I do?
Kill her with fire.
What of the future do you wish to know?
I want to know what you want for dinner, so we can go out.
She chuckles at him. That is not what this is. The purpose of this is.
Fine. You ask, Sarah.
Oh, why me?
You were here first. I just came by.
Fine. I'd like to see just 2 weeks into the future. What would happen?
If you keep going the way you're going right now, she asks, looking at the cards, or do you wish to know the best route to the best future?
In order for these people to survive, I guess we have to find the best route.
All right. She rubs her furry hands together, and then reshuffles the cards. Then starts laying them out. And then she offers the deck towards Sarah. Take the first card.
I guess Sarah's gonna do it.
In front of you, face up and towards you, is the picture of a queen. Thorn turns over a card in her deck, and it's clearly showing a shadow. Ah, this has to do with the Shadow Queen. She kind of makes a face at that. Well, of course it does. And kind of just shakes her head back and forth.
God damn it, I didn't want to deal with her bullshit today. Okay, what's the next one?
She offers you the next card from the pack.
So it's gonna take it and flip it.
It shows the image of someone kneeling at an altar. Ah, a cleric card. She flips over the card on her side, and it shows a pair of wings. This seems to be referring to a winged cleric. And she gives a meaningful look to Hector and Sarah.
Sarah's gonna smirk.
Hector's gonna die.
Or I'm going to hook up with that winged cat chick. Let's go.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Okay, what's
Tarot
the next
card.
one?
She holds out the deck to her again.
I'm gonna take it and flip it.
It shows two pictures side by side. One is a baby inside of a mother's womb. The second one is the image of something inside of an egg. The unborn, she says.
Sarah's a mama now.
And then she
Not
flips over
bad.
a card on her side. This is the card for dreamers. Interesting. She taps it. Then she starts looking at the next row, starts laying out cards for the second row, and looks over at Hector. Would you like to try the next one?
Yes.
this picture displays two hands shaking. Friends. And she flips over the first one in her lane. Ah, gift. She points at the box with the pretty bow on it on the card.
So I'm gonna get a gift from a friend.
She kind of thinks for a moment. Is anybody else walking by this scene at this time in the Citadel? Or around the Citadel at the moment?
I'd probably be walking.
So
I'm
as you start walking around, without even looking at you, Thorn suddenly offers the deck of cards to you.
To me?
Yep.
I look at them puzzled.
Take the
Would
top
you like
one,
me to-
please.
I take the top card.
You see that it's a picture of a grinning skeleton with a scythe. Not unlike your scythe.
Great.
Is it Papa?
She flips over her card, and it depicts a battle of some kind.
I just kind of look up on the cards, and I'm like, what does this mean?
Well, the cards are very much for interpretation. But right now, you have a card for a queen, a shadow, a cleric, wings, the unborn, dreamers. Am I forgetting any?
And then the two cards that I just pulled.
War.
So I'm gonna have Satan's baby in war.
That's right.
Cool.
There was a gift and what was the other one?
Shaking hands for friends.
Friends and gifts. That's right.
So I'm gonna make a new friend, have a kid, and then die in battle. Cool.
There, I guess, are many ways to interpret this, but the one way of saying it, and Thorn kind of lifts her head, is that as long as you make friends with others and give them gifts, then
You won't die in battle.
you will not die in battle. She corrects. It's like if you do not follow the path of friendship, then battle and death will be your only reward.
Well, that is all what my life has known.
She makes this kind of face. It's like, this is a very saccharine. But she looks at Sarah. Do what you will, if you wish. But, of course, it could also mean that this is what you need in order to fulfill your wish. She nods her head at Sarah. Gifts of friendship.
God damn it. Alright. So how do I contact her?
And, okay. I know this is slightly railroading, but as you're talking, you look over at Hector or Sunset for a moment, and when you look back, Thorn is gone. Nobody saw her leave.
I was busy putting wings on my horse.
Who was that?
That was Thorn, a goddess.
Girlfriend.
Oh. I've never been in the. I've never been an audience to a goddess before.
You should go to our wedding.
Alright. Everybody be on guard. If
Who
somebody
is this queen that she spoke of?
basically a queen of death. You know what comes out at night? Those are her children.
Oh.
Sarah,
Apparently now I got a meeting with her.
I made
If
my
you would like me to accompany you, I shall.
Yes, but also be wary. Hector, for this, just don't try to say anything if we do meet her.
Okay.
You're better at standing there and looking pretty.
Can I show her my Pegasus horse?
At this point, in the conversation, it's a point. It need to point out that Cynthia has already left with various gold, like the gold that Leofar's given her, plus other gold that she has, to go buy supplies along with the 2 shadows that Sarah has sent with her.
She's gonna have the Bone Claw alert everybody to what has happened right now, or basically the main party.
The fucking terrible.
So
And just to be on
everybody in the
guard.
party, no matter what you do, sorry, you have now received a message from the Bone Claw, basically telling you to form up around Sarah, from wherever you are in the city at the moment.
Sure, why not?
Waves goodbye to my new friends and walks over, sadly. Making sure to avoid other humans.
And Sarah's gonna draw down of what all the pictures of the tarot cards. And so what they mean. Hopefully I got this in a good idea.
I think,
She's
yeah,
also gonna call over the cat girl. Or she's
The
gonna
cat-
have Dagoff retrieve the egg.
the cat girl comes at your summons. What may I do for you, my lady?
You will be accompanying us to this trip.
As
For
you
some
wish.
fortunes. Just make sure you don't reveal these. Sarah's gonna point out to her rings just yet.
The cat girl pulls her wings under a cloak. As you wish. I know I keep having issues with my spelling. Sorry, I cannot spell
Yeah, it's alright.
Citadel to save my life.
I will be right back in like 2 minutes.
Sarah's gonna call them over.
They do not come. They are kind of like undulating in place.
So that also happens to Hector too.
Yeah, I whispered him.
So all the
I'm
undead in the
getting-
city are acting weird.
No, just not the undead. The undead are fine except for one specific subset.
I was like, oh crap,
They-
she's already here.
Night has fallen.
Sarah.
You can see
We're heading to the Citadel. Everybody be cautious.
You can see.
Did anyone
that's-
get land?
Yes, you were also alerted.
Yeah, everybody was alerted. And anybody who did not come voluntarily, I imagine that Fluffy picked up and dragged to the Citadel.
I will pick up Fluffy and drag him to the Citadel.
Fluffy is a large-sized thing.
Not a problem.
Okay, so
Anyway.
So again, I must get the horse and just follow the crowd. I'll follow my shadow.
Okay, what did you break this time?
Yeah, all the shadows are now basically standing there in the center of the main of the first floor of the Citadel. They're all kind of like gathered together, kind of in the middle of the floor.
Okay, my answer's been. You broke your shadows. Congratulations. How the fuck did you do
They're not
that?
responding to either Sarah or Hector's commands.
I'm going to try to
we
turn it
have
off
a
and on.
meeting with the Shadow Queen.
Isn't that the lady that wants us dead?
No, that never happened. But
She didn't actually want us dead. Her children just ate everything that was living.
And that was before you guys actually got here. Just a GM side note.
Why is she here?
Because in order for us to to be living, and to get ahead, we need to make friends with her, apparently. From what these fortunes had told us.
I'm back.
Great. Make friends with a being of pure death and children that wants to eat us all. Yeah. If this
And
goes
yet,
badly,
every
I will
day-
haunt every single one of you.
Haunt our
Now if I'm dead
ghosts.
too.
The shadows are all drifting now towards the downward stairs.
Oh shit, we have a basement. Okay.
Ah, shit,
Yes,
they're
that's
in
what
the
that's what the Orb of Soul Rending is. You know, the thing that you guys are
Adapted
used.
styles, I switch around my maneuvers.
The newer players have never seen it before, but the rest of you who were here from at the Citadel founding, you guys would know that this is exactly where the you know, that's where you found those 50 skeletons that were gathered around a sacrifice platform, and the orb that that Lokar described as the Orb of Soul Rending.
Mm-hmm. Sarah's gonna also say, "Sweetie, keep your eyes covered and just hold on to my hand." She's gonna tell the the little Padawan.
The cleric.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that she was a cleric.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, she's an acolyte, but she basically in D&D terms she has the stats of a cleric.
Yeah. We're gonna head downstairs.
All right. As you get down there, you see that that one of the drow, the woman who was that was by herself, with the rest of those elves that came in, is standing there, basically looking around the room.
I take it you are the Shadow Queen in disguise.
The cloaked figure turns towards you. There is she has sorry, keep getting ahead of myself. She has cold, dark, black skin, pitch black, except for this mark on her forehead that's in the shape of a star, and very red eyes that almost look like little bits of fire instead of instead of the type of red that drow usually have. Well, you must be the leader of this group.
Yes.
She slips both of her hands into the opposite sleeves. You know, the way that you sometimes see, very old women do. Though, of course, since she looks to be a drow, she doesn't look old at all.
Leo, don't get too close. Can I
Turns
ask
her
you
red
first?
eyes towards Leo for a moment. Ah, young one. And then looks back at Sarah. Okay, Yuki. Don't be too long. If this goes bad, you're going to be in the middle of a battle, and I know how much you like battles. But, sorry. I figured that was a shit already given, so not a big surprise.
So, apparently this is a meeting. And apparently it's supposed to be a meeting of friendship.
It was not an intentional meeting. I was looking for something. I've been looking for such a long time now.
My eyes kind of just shift to the woman, not directly in the eyes, but trying to think, what the fuck would she want? But then again, it's probably out of my mind, so I probably
May I
wouldn't
ask
know.
what you're looking for?
I am looking for my children.
Which ones?
All of my children. The ones who have been imprisoned here for a long time.
I do not know what you mean by imprisoned.
She looks over towards the orb and puts her finger out towards it. That thing is the reason why my children have suffered. It splits them apart, and they found a way to... sorry, pausing for a moment to find the right word. They found a way to harness my children for their own purposes, away from that orb.
You mean the ones that are set in traps that entrap them forever?
She's referring to something you actually read in the tablets. Basically, Lokar had mentioned how basically the shadow killing traps in his tower were modified off of something that the shadow trapping traps that he had helped create to be used in conjunction with the orb. Seems to be referring to that.
So the shadow traps in the orb.
It's not in the orb, it's simply with the orb. They built it into that system there. She points at the silvery talons that are basically keeping the orb in place. The ones that you saw when you came into this room originally.
But it also protects us from your children to stop them from eating us.
She kind of levels you with a look. The only reason I am here is because of what has been done to my children.
And if we remove this device, you will bring no harm to us or our people.
Once it is removed, I can finally bring my children home.
And can you release mine?
Can you repeat that, please? I don't think I understand what you're talking about.
Sarah's gonna say, can you release mine to the undead shadows?
You're gonna have to rephrase that, because I'm still not getting your meaning.
Sarah's also saying, can you release my children? She's pointing out to the undead shadows that are stagnant and under.
Okay, if that is what you're trying to say. She kind of narrows her eyes even more at that one. They are not your children. They are my unborn.
The unborn of the undead.
They do not need to be dead. She says with an insistent look. And this is something that, remember, you've been sensing this all along, that these appear to be shadows and shadowy, but there's no undeath, there's no taint of the undead about them. Unlike the shadows you have, who are definitely undead. The Shadow Queen and the things she controls, or she refers to as her children, do not have undeath around them.
I'm trying so hard.
Anyone else wish to say anything at this point during this conversation? You guys are also fairly quiet.
No.
Can you take your Oh, okay. Can you take your children back without ruining our orb defense system thingy? I mean, I'm for you just taking your children back and going wherever, but this does help us.
Yeah, what does taking your children back even mean?
Rescuing the little shadowy from this trap they've been stuck in for 1,000 years.
You mean the world itself?
No, our little soul-sucky orb.
She's actually referring to the silvery struts that are surrounding the orb itself.
Aren't the silvery struts holding the orb in place, though?
They're whatever connects the orb. From what you have investigated and figured, or at least reasoned out based on what the orb does, is that it somehow connects it to the Citadel in general, and then outwards towards amplifiers and such like that to create the shields and other effects. Apparently they also serve as a secondary purpose and contain various shadows that also split off from people when they are sacrificed.
Let's consult our engineer, old Lokar or whatever. Lakor?
Lokar's not an engineer, he's a wizard, but yeah.
He's the one who made it, so he engineered it. It's magical engineering.
Well, he didn't make it. He kind of put up he's okay. He is the theoretical engineer who proposed the concept of it when somebody else went ahead and built it off his idea.
So he should know at least something about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's gonna send the Bone Claw to go fetch him. If not, drag him by force.
Okay.
Let's not just drag people by force.
The Bone Claw does end up having to drag him by force because he's not happy with this at all. He's kind of scared that the fact that the legendary Shadow Queen is here now, and he's not happy about this at all. And of course, he's mortal, unlike Thorn, who seems to despise the Shadow Queen for other reasons. Well, not least of which that the Shadow Queen somehow trapped her inside of a box. Lokar squawks and kind of shivers as the Shadow Queen lays her eyes on him.
Can you relay us the information that you know about how this theory works about how the shield property and how it splits off from the shadows from the body and steals them away?
He wrings his clawed hands and says, "Well, it's not exactly like that. You see, the soul-rending orb takes away the light from the soul, and the shadow just gets left behind." He kind of clacks his beak together a bit. The orb really has nothing to do with the shadows themselves. The orb has everything to do with absorbing the light. The shadows would just he continues to clack and stammer as he looks shyly over at the Shadow Queen.
Can someone cast Remove Fear on him or something?
So can we release the souls without stopping the barrier from working?
So it doesn't trap the souls inside the barrier or nor outside, it just traps them into those conduits, those 4 pillars.
Let's see.
Well, it seems like the... Go ahead.
The soul energy, he says, still stammering, is pulled inside the orb itself. But there is also a shadow. If he basically closes his eyes for a moment and thinks how to explain it. Not every culture has always talked about a single soul concept. Some cultures talk about it in terms of, this and that, or multiple souls. The orb merely makes that a reality. It splits, and then it takes the soul, the positive energy into itself to be used.
All right.
And the negative energy is the shadow.
Well, yes, you can put it that way. Shadow could be considered negative energy. He's still stammering all along. I'm just tired of making him stammer.
Is there a way to pull out the dark energy or the shadow and release it?
The shadow energy isn't in the orb itself. He kind of thinks for a moment. Lograth and I had a theory about all this, and when we got it to work, they took it and built the cage around it in order to, pull the soul into the orb, but also harness the shadow so that they could use it against the blight. He kind of moves slowly over towards the orb and its casing and starts tapping on the silvery cage-like structure.
And do you think the blight is still the problem here?
How would I know? It's been 1,000 years. He mumbles.
And explain to the queen what the blight is.
Sorry, he said creep, not blight. Blight's what it's called
The creep.
Darkhaven. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. The creep is.
The queen just shakes her head. I know what it is. My children have been feeding on it, along with other things.
If we release your children would not feed on us.
Wait, the children feed on the creep.
Mhm.
So if we release the shadows, they'll get rid of the creep.
But that's if she doesn't agree to, out of character, if she doesn't agree to them for not to attack us.
No, we don't need the shadows at all except to defend against the creep. So basically, okay, so think of it like this. The shadows are a waste product for us. We can just pipe them outside our barrier and they can eat all the creep they want.
Basically, the shadow swarm is basically she's been pointing out is that the shadow swarm is there at all because, which has actually led to them creating more and more a barrier in the first place. Was actually came there because the Shadow Queen apparently had a problem with needing to free her children from this because somehow, all shadows are her children or her unborn, and she seeks to free them. To rescue them from all this.
Yep.
And so basically the problem that they were trying to solve with the creeps, and they created a whole new problem with the Shadow Swarm, which then destroyed them. But then the Shadow Swarm couldn't get in past the barrier and was stuck out there, making life a hell for everybody else.
Right, so I propose we
Release
release the shadows as long as she gets rid of the Shadow Swarm.
We will be heading home as soon as all of my children and unborn are with me again.
Bard pipes up. That sounds reasonable.
Is there no way we can keep one of your shadows as least as a diplomat?
She says, I need to bring them all home. She's not saying that she won't, send a diplomat. She is just insistent that she gets them all home.
So if they all go home first, then you'll come and visit with a diplomat. So we could discuss things out, how to have a coexistence in this world.
I will have to think about it and and see what the children say. But I first need to get my children out. She, again, is insisting on this. It seems like, after 1,000 years, this is all she's been thinking about for then. Of course, you have no idea how old she might be, and for all you know, 1,000 years might be the equivalent of, a long day.
Or like 5 minutes.
Well,
her kids been lost in the mall.
Yeah, basically, if you put it down to it, the frantic parents searching for their kid in the mall and seeing their kid, in the ball pit inside of a restaurant that's on lockdown, that's kind of how it's going.
So, out of goodwill, we should at least release him for now. Hopefully, he doesn't bite us in the butt.
See, the thing is, I'm all for releasing it, but we want to release it without breaking anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what...
You do have that journal. Well, Synthar has that journal, but also you have Lokar, who might be able to fix the orb and retether it once you shut down the shadow trap around it.
Mm-hmm. Like, if we release them, you could take your children home. But I do not want harm coming to the people in this land, though.
As long as you release my children, and she looks over at Sarah distinctly now, then I will not harm any more of them. Okay. I will have no interest in that.
Let's start. Then you say we have a deal?
She says, and there's an agreement as long as my children are released. My unborn, she specifies once again.
Yes, you go,
You
Shadow.
start working on undoing the field. She's gonna tell the Birdman.
The Griffin, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's a, I guess Griffin, since it still evokes the images of something you can ride on, he's not big enough for that, and he's sentient, so. But he's more like, it's cat. It's kind of like a cat bird, except not exactly. Yeah, I guess catbird is the best thing, except not but not like the cat folk in that Kandala which you were at.
So, a Sphinx?
No, doesn't look human. He's just human sized, but he's got a long beak, pink feathers, yellow gold fur and a mane.
Oh, so Zaya from League of Legends.
No.
I don't know what that
Far
looks
off.
like.
Far off. You are far off.
Well, for starters, Zaya doesn't have a beak.
Yeah, beak is basically the beak is the main feature you would notice by looking at him.
Okay, so
But
I'm gonna keep an eye on her while also having the guy undo the shield or the shadow trap.
Alright, so the shadow trap gets. Okay, we'll speed this along then. The shadow trap gets removed, and as the connection is severed, Hector and Sarah to all of your shadows, except of course Sarah has 2 shadows that are unaccounted for currently over in Darkhaven, which the Queen hasn't specified. So, you know. All of the shadows, especially the greater shadows, have this air of gratitude and I guess you could call it wonder, as the Queen takes them and the rest of the swarm that you actually can see outside in the above the field, basically taking them sideways into another plane.
Does that mean no more Dagoth, or is he
No,
skeleton?
No, that means
Dagoth is not a shadow.
No, that means we
Okay.
lose their shadows completely.
I don't remember them in the last adventure. So, good riddance.
Well,
because there were shadow
honestly,
traps.
shadows or giant ass skeleton monsters, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter which one you use. It's going to
Yeah.
be useful.
We've got enough mooks. It's fine.
Sarah's gonna hold her anger for
Let's
her
throw
taking
some-
her greater
let's throw some-
shadows.
Let's throw some vampires in the mix.
That's what Darkhaven's for.
Yeah, they're
Dark
already
Haven's-
vampires.
Darkhaven's ruled by vampires. That's where Mythos and Leofire are from.
Really?
Yep, you're from Darkhaven. Leofire and Mythos are both from Darkhaven.
Technically,
That's
I
what
did
y'all
have a
picked me up.
shadow marking though.
You still have what? I'm sorry, go on.
I did have my shadows marked though.
Yeah, well, the marks on all of them vanished as soon as they were brought through the, what can we call it, the birth process for, getting rid of the undead marker on them. So, unfortunately, you're just down to those 2 little shadows that you sent off as synth there.
Sarah's gonna hold her anger in. Her anger and sadness.
Aww. So, what would you guys like to do for the rest of this evening inside the Citadel? Now that the swarm seems to be gone. Oh, however, you do still have the possibility of the creep having a problem in the city. So the field is still a useful thing to have, along with eventually setting up any of the relays that you might need. So I'm leaving the sectors up for now because, as far as the creep is concerned, the creep still exists. The field, it will protect against the creep.
I see. So, we're gonna need fertilizer for the plants, right?
Psh, we got magic, boy.
Well, I mean, we're not gonna be around all the time.
I'll make a magic item. Give me... Well, I need some more materials to make it, but give me some of that, and then we can just have constant food forever.
Now, if you want,
In the meantime,
Yes.
until we can gather those, we need a source for fertilizer. I'm not exactly a public official. I just got here. Does anybody have any ideas?
Sarah's gonna be unresponsive for a little bit.
Okay, out of character. Whose idea was the outhouse? Because that was actually a really good idea.
I don't know.
I don't want to take credit for it, is the problem.
I mean, I assume we just
If no one says anything, go for it.
I think it might have been Winston, as you were calling him.
Oh, it was Winston?
Yeah, might have been my NPC.
Okay. Winston proposed the idea of creating public outhouses so that way he can go through the refuse and reclaim some fertilizer for the fields. Do we have any objections? And besides, this could be a opportunity to put more people to work, at least temporarily.
Doesn't seem like a terrible idea.
Leofire doesn't get an opinion.
Well, we're gonna need sewers at some point, so...
Besides,
Set us
Leofire
up
is playing
in the tree.
harmonica with the elves at the moment.
Now, are we going to be going with the bargain basement outhouses flowing into a ditch, or are we going to future-proof this and actually start building an actual sewer system?
There are remnants of a sewer system underground, but they have not been, except for the mushroom farm that you guys were able to secure, they have not been cleared out of any monsters or scavengers that might be living down there.
Okay, he brings up that point. We could use the old sewer system, but as the voices in our head, no, no. But quite obviously there would be all sorts of nastiness down there.
Yeah, and thankfully for you guys, the field does extend somewhat under the ground, so that things can't crawl up into Sector 1 from the remnants of the sewer system.
So so those are our three options. We can go down, clear a stretch of the sewer system, and wall it off to keep it secure. Go with just a ditch in the ground, or build a new and probably less functional sewer system.
In order to get the sewer system, don't we need running water too?
That could be solved rather easily, actually.
How so?
Well, it does rain here, does it not?
I haven't
Yes, it
seen it
does.
rain in a while.
You've seen it rain probably like 2 or 3 times since you've been here.
Really?
You've been here a month.
Holy shit! Was it a lot of rain, or was it? Well, actually, I suppose I should be asking this in character. When was the last time that it rained?
GM information says 2 weeks ago.
And how much was it? Was it a downpour or just a little sprinkle?
Downpour.
If we can. So I would propose this then. For the time being, we simply have a simple ditch. While we collect enough rainwater in order to actually start creating a flow in the sewers.
Sounds reasonable.
And during that time, we can actually clear out a decent stretch of it, that we can a decent usable stretch of it. Clear it out of any, well, based off of what I've already seen in this realm, I wouldn't be too all that surprised if there were poop monsters down there. I just gave the DM ideas.
No, I've seen Dogma. The shit demon.
Yeah, let's hope that's not an actual thing.
I think it is. I think it's somewhere in one of the DM guides or something, or monster manuals. Probably probably in some demon book.
If there is a poop monster, we need to capture it and then, pirate style, walk the plane into its pin for our prisoners.
Shit demon.
No, demon sounds shit. Demon turns everyone to shit. Just a poop slime.
No, it's a demon formed out of shit.
Oh, that sounds like a really shitty ideal.
You have to watch Dogma sometime if you don't get the reference.
So, if we are in agreement, then small ditch until we have enough water and a good stretch of sewer.
Yes. Sounds reasonable.
On to another matter. When we do start growing the land, how exactly are we going to distribute the food? Obviously, the ones who actually work would get precedent.
I just think for now, everybody should get some food.
We use token.
Don't we have like
You
ration?
work, you get a token that
you
ration
guys have
tokens or
already
something.
sent out for ration cards. Cynthia's going to be coming back with them in a few days.
Oh,
Yeah,
Not only that,
we
don't
already
we
have a
have, like-
system for it.
Don't we already have like endless bags of rations or something?
yeah,
I can only support 30 people a day.
yeah.
Yeah, I can only, right now you have over you have just under 100 people in here between the citizens and you guys and the prisoners.
Well, with like 4 bags that can feed the whole town for a day.
Yeah,
If we run low on rations, on food.
Yeah, but people do eventually get tired of sawdust, and a little bit of bread wouldn't help. Plus, it's cheap, and you can actually sell it as a good.
So did the Queen of Shadow leave?
Yes, she left with all the shadows. There's no longer a swarm hanging out above above the field.
And does that mean the shield's going down and we'll be safe from now on?
No, you still have the creep to worry about in terms of the shield being up or down. However, it means that you have but it's safer to travel outside the shield at night. You'll no longer get instantly killed.
Ah, so that means we can work at night as well inside the shield and don't have to worry about attracting them.
Yep.
Right. But basically the shield is still useful protecting against the creep, which will spread and destroy your crops, kill your people, etc., etc.
We should burn it.
Yeah, apparently that didn't work so well when people tried originally because it spread everywhere, and the only solution they could find was the shield. The shield to begin with.
What?
And
Fire doesn't hurt it?
Shadows. Either that, or it acts like brown mold and spreads at fire.
Okay, so
So basically, that's what we found inside that one tower. Then
spores.
So, if we are agreed on that, then and we are agreed on how to distribute the food, then I shall ready workers.
Okay. I guess I'll go around and tell the townspeople, hey, it's okay to come out and work at night. If you guys want to walk around at night, it's okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like keep them up to date. Like, if you go outside the shield, you still might die. There's still a high chance of dying. It's not instant, but don't go out the shield.
Because there's still going to be bandits that are going to figure out that it's no longer instant death to come out at night. So eventually, probably within a couple of weeks, it's going to be dangerous because of bandit troubles from people. But then at the end, people will also be.
Truth be told, I think people would prefer bandits over shadows that kill you almost instantly.
Well,
at least you can fight bandits.
I'm sorry, Lyra. I shouldn't have let you climb into that while it was hanging upside down.
Anyway,
my cat accidentally ripped my bag. Sorry.
Anyway, Dorith goes and goes to find some more workers to build at the houses and the ditch.
Okay, how many workers would you like to employ?
Well, let's see here. The total population of this place, well, that we actually give a shit about, is roughly 80. So we're going to need to build enough outhouses to accommodate not 80 people at once, obviously, but just throughout the day. So I don't know. Call another 10 workers just to build them, or just to build it in the ditch for just a short while until we can gather up, well, hopefully shit tons of rainwater.
Okay. Yeah, 10 people doing general work, 11 people doing farming. Got it.
Yep. In other words, pretty soon we are going to have to make a frickin' office of public works.
If anything, that should probably be the next project.
Well, then we can actually start training these people into actually going down into their own sewers and killing the monsters themselves. So that actually
that's what the guild's focus will be for. Currently, there are 2 people training at Yuki's guild.
Okay.
I mean, if you want my opinion, most of the government type offices should just be in the Citadel. That way, it's gathered up and there's no miscommunication. It's easy to get for each one to get into contact with the other.
Yeah, and it just removes the cost of people putting different papers in different areas and sending them around town.
Yeah, so like the public works,
it avoids the logistical nightmare of a bureaucracy.
That's what you think.
Also a courthouse, probably.
I mean, the customs office, that's just kind of necessary where it is.
Yeah, that one's pretty...
So, would you guys, before deciding on where you wish to go next, would you guys like to wait around for Stint there to come back with various supplies for various places, plus, like the seeds and the ration books and everything, the things you need to make ration cards for and such?
Probably.
I don't mind.
Is there a cleric with the craft domain in our midst?
I don't think so.
We can always just use copper coins.
Yeah, these people don't know the value of a copper coin, so they don't know how much or little they're actually making.
We don't need to make cards. We just gotta use something we already have that's useful, durable, and can't be mistaken.
They did this much work this day. They get a copper coin for a day's worth of food.
Yep, that's up to the blacksmith right now to work on the building, making the currency, or at least smelting the materials to make the currency. You can then employ like kobold and stuff to help you out because they have the skills required to actually make the coins, even though they haven't made coins before.
Well, honestly, I could make all the coins in the world.
How big is
I do work with metal for a living.
I take it Yuki's guild is the Shadow Lotus guild.
No, that's Sarah's.
Sarah's.
Because she has the lotuses. That's why the lotus is the other side of the coin.
Oh, I just think of Shadow Ninja, Lotus Ninja. So, then does that mean Razgri's Heaven is?
Yes.
Okay. How big is that building? Is it a little bit empty with just 2 people training inside of it?
You'd have to ask Yuki for dimensions, and I think Yuki's AFK.
Yeah.
Oh, he is? Okay, I thought I heard him. Shit. Okay. Never mind then. I don't do that.
What do we need in the town that can be my building, since you guys don't want a museum?
I prefer you to have a museum.
I truth be told, I don't care if you have a museum. Just don't be shocked when people steal from you.
Build whatever you want, Sunset.
What's wrong there?
I'd really just do something that can benefit the town and that benefits my skills, and the only skill that really help other people is appraise.
Well, that sounds like a pawn shop to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Useful eventually.
And like pawn shop, general store would work.
Oh, I could just technically have an appraisery, like, oh, hey, you need to know how much this gem's worth? 1,500.
Well, yeah, then you'd also be a jeweler, which would also be a pawn shop, I suppose.
Technically.
So yeah, I mean, just a second-hand store, even, just call it that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that could work. Because I also have open lock, so if they bring me something that's locked, I can technically open it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that works.
Anything else before we move on?
I don't know if I should do this now or later, but I kind of want to make that. I kind of want to make that unemployment firm, or that employment firm that basically I get 10% of whatever the hell you make. And if you don't live up to it, then you become an indentured servant.
Well, if it's 10% of what you make, then you don't need to make anything to pay you, because you only get a percentage of what they make. Therefore,
well, I mean, if they made a copper a day, then I would get every 10 days. I would get 1 copper from each person. And it just wouldn't be very profitable. The cost of, right now, at the very least, the cost of staying in business would outweigh my potential profits. Honestly, it just wouldn't even be worth my time right now.
Try and make a bank.
Yeah, but that would require capital and people with actual initiative.
Yeah.
These people are absolute sheeple.
Yeah. We have, like, all the actual coins, so we'd have to give them the coins to put in the bank.
Well, then, also, I don't think you guys are going to trust a complete strain. Granted, he's, like, a total... Put it this way, you signed a contract with him and he'll follow you off a cliff. If that is what the contract says. But even so, I don't think you're going to trust him with your coin just yet. Also, hey, life insurance policies. You never know.
I think that may be a bit beyond them.
Yeah, that might be a bit beyond them right now because they're so likely to die.
Okay, so...
Basically, until this fledgling civilization actually gets a... Like, you know,
gets
gets booming and has the very idea of, or just even the faintest idea of a GDP.
Yeah.
You're just gonna hold your gun for now.
I'm gonna hold off on my ideas of making a bank and just work on putting people to actual work as long as we can actually feed them.
All
So
right.
for now, we're at, like, our rough cap is like 30 people.
Yeah.
And until the farmlands actually start producing, then we won't be able to really increase our workforce.
Yeah.
Other than with undead.
Yep. So right now, there won't be any more, people coming to join your civilization until then. For right now, I think many of them will be marveling at the fact that the swarm is gone. Speaking of which, we're going to move on a couple days. Correct? Everybody ready?
Yep.
All right. Well, what?
Can we get a drum roll?
Shut up.
Thank you.
One day after the Shadow Queen took off with all of her shadows, Sarah, you receive a visitor. As you're probably still Sarah, you're probably still sad that all of your shadows have gone. Correct?
Yeah.
Well, since you allowed the Shadow Queen to leave from here, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. From here directly. That means something from the Shadow Realm was able to manifest back here into this realm without having to, bypassing the field of positive energy completely. As you as you are feeling, very sad and feeling sad and lonely, a cold sensation passes over you. The room darkens slightly that you're in. Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah's gonna go on caution mode.
As you look up or look around, you see that one of your greater shadows, or at least that's what it seems to be, is now hovering in front of you. However, there is something a bit odd about it. It is no longer displaying an undead aura, which you would normally use to control, contain, or otherwise order it around, or, because you're a necromancer.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna look at it.
It hovers there in front of you and offers a hand. Well, sort of. It's transubstantial, but it is still, a gesture.
Yeah, Sarah's gonna take it.
You can sense that it is willing to fight alongside of you now. And be commanded much the same way that you commanded your undead, but this one is full of life, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it came back. It missed you.
The convenient thing of that is that it's no longer susceptible to turning spells or spells that affect undead.
So she can't heal no more.
No, that's not true. She can still heal it because being shadow based, it can still be healed with negative energy. Welcome back, Yuki. But it's no longer susceptible to being turned. So if you run across a group of paladins or something like that, they're not going to affect the Greater Shadow. The Greater Shadow is going to be able to do anything it wants to them.
Okay.
Also, there's a special addendum to it creating more shadows, which we can go over whenever that comes up.
Okay.
So, several days later, the synth there shows back up with a small wagon worth of stuff. And basically arrives in town with various supplies, with a bunch of seeds for the farmlands, with various stuff that the inn could probably use for a bit, and other things to make, printing indentations the way that you specified. The one side a dog's head, one side a lotus, to be able to print so you guys will be able to print Nexus money.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
We're gonna turn this into the next superpower.
They're in the courtyard for her, one of the parts of her guild. She's gonna make a official graveyard for the people.
Aww.
Wait. The necromancer's making a graveyard by her guild.
Yep.
No, you're just making more employees.
Yeah. Okay, so now that Yuki's back, I walk into Razgri's Heaven, and with only 2 people,
Both kobolds.
rather empty?
Hey.
Okay, what?
Graveyards are undead's apartments. Leave them alone.
The dead need a place to sleep too.
Okay, what are you asking about?
Okay, with only 2 kobolds in here, in your guild house, does it feel rather empty?
To a degree, yes, but then it really depends on what's actually being used for.
Yeah, so Doris proposes maybe getting a few more members. If you would be willing to take them on. They could prove useful down the road. And besides, if it's your hand that raises them out of poverty, they'll be entirely grateful to you.
I got something I want to plan.
Or eternally grateful to you.
So you want to do what?
He's offering a proposition that he goes out and finds more people, or tries to find more people that would be willing to join your guild. They would obviously learn under you, and they could prove useful down the road. And if it's your hand that actually pulls them out of poverty and helps them out, they would be eternally grateful to you, to the point where they'd probably do whatever the hell you wanted them to.
To a degree, that was my initial intention.
Well, anyway, would you like him to go out and try to find people for you?
I don't mind.
Alright, he'll go ahead and do that then. Oh, actually, he asked what your standards are.
To some degree, they have to be able to hide, sneak, and disable traps, and or attack people from behind without being noticed whatsoever.
Children, got it.
Or rather, there's only 2 children in the Citadel. I'm sorry, in the Nexus. However, there are a bunch of kobolds and goblins.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's not untrue. So we're now training children assassins. Got it.
What's wrong with that?
There are 2 human children in the area of the Nexus, but there's like 9 goblins that aren't slaves, and like 20-something kobolds. Though some of them are Shield siblings, and others are scholars who wouldn't be interested in joining a guild of assassins.
So there are some?
Yeah, the goblins might be your best bet.
Okay, he goes to. I assume they're kind of tribal, or they're kind of tribalistic, and they're keeping to their own races, or are they mingling?
The goblins are basically by themselves. They used to be hanging out with like the hobgoblins and the bugbear, but since those guys are mostly prisoners, most of these goblins are currently worshiping Sarah. Sarah has them convinced that she is the goddess of death. And so they are currently working on some kind of shrine to Sarah, not far from the Shadow Lotus Guild, which is right next to the guild that you just came out of.
Oh, so it's actually a relatively short walk too.
Yes.
Wow, shows the amount of this really shows the amount of effort you put into your guild.
Sarah and you decided to put their guilds next to each other.
So,
but there are 9.
There was a huge reason behind both of us putting our guilds together.
So basically, he walks like 10 feet down the street and finds potential candidates.
Yes, you found a group of 9 goblins, all with weird lesions on their faces. All standing around some sort of weird shrine, vaguely in the shape of Sarah. There's a dead rat on the shrine. There is some bits of scrap that look shiny. Basically, all sorts of things that you would think that somebody wanting to worship a god would be putting there.
So he is going to go ahead and try to pick out some of the more, I don't want to say athletically inclined, but not in shit shape.
One of the goblins kind of peels away from the rest of them and looks up at you. Describe your character again, real quick.
He's a lesser tiefling. He doesn't have a tail. He has horns, though. But, well...
Are you showing all these characteristics right now, or do you have any of them concealed?
He has them pretty well concealed.
Okay. So is it, what do you want? And, like, gruff voice, kind of common.
So he actually gets down to their level. I'm looking for a handful of you who are more adept at sneaking around than most.
The goblin and several of the other ones nearby start chuckling at this. The one that's standing in front of you holds up its hand and just kind of, basically silence the others, who then go back to whatever prayer or whatever they're doing with the shrine. He looks up at you with the yellowed eyes. Well, we all are good at sneaking around. We used to sneak around rooftops and drop grenades on people.
Dicks.
So, what you're saying is that you have experience, then?
Well, yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
How about instead of just languishing around in, well, this? How about we actually get you into a certain line of work?
Well, I've been hearing about this work thing. Tell me more.
Well, you see, you do what you are an underling of a boss, and the boss rewards you for doing tasks that he wants, or she wants.
The goblin kind of raises his hand again. We already did that, and then the goddess came around.
Yes, well, this person is actually a rather close friend of the goddess.
Really?
He nods. I mean, he put his guild, or she put his guild. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. She put her guild house right next to your goddesses. Did she not?
The goblin in question looks over and is actually nodding at this point. Yes, that is true. The goddess does reside here. This is her temple, and I guess that place right there, whoever has that place must be honored by the goddess.
So therefore, working for a close friend of the goddess would also be counted as working for the goddess, would it not?
The goblin rubs its chin. Yes, maybe. Roll a, what's it in 3.5 again? It's persuasion, diplomacy, I guess?
Persuasion or diplomacy?
Wait, persuasion is a separate thing?
No, there's persuasion, it's diplomacy.
Yeah.
There's no persuasion.
Yeah, it's diplomacy and bluff, and in 3.0 it's persuasion and deceit. I was playing 5.0 again last night. We're playing another one tomorrow.
I'm shocked at that one. I actually didn't play points in diplomacy. I'm shocked. I'm shocked at that one.
Yeah, the goblin is not completely convinced, but it still seems interested in what you have to say. It kind of makes hand gestures to the others for them to quiet down whatever murmuring or snickering they're doing at this point.
Oh, Grace, did you see my message?
I'm gonna have yes, living try to hide the. Yeah, I saw that one.
I'm in the owner of Rosgrea's Heaven is currently working very closely with your goddess to accomplish many feats. So working under Madam Yuki in order to hone your skills and be sorted into certain tasks would be most beneficial to your goddess as well.
Will there be killing involved?
I actually didn't hear that. What?
Will there be killing involved?
Will there be killing involved?
Quite possibly.
The goblin starts nodding a bit. We shall go talk to this Yuki.
If you want to impress her, I suggest you get in there quietly.
The goblin kind of makes hand gestures towards the others, and all 9 of them start heading off towards Yuki's guild. Okay.
Well, that's 30. That is 30. I am done for today. That's 3,000% increase. Oh wait, no, never mind. It's been a couple days. Never mind. Never mind. That's just a now it's just a 33% increase. Dang it! I'm losing my touch.
I might even fail if you.
So yeah, you can sort through them as much as you want. You can fire as many as you want too.
Then so let me get the actual spot check so I can do a mass roll.
Yes, and put it this way: the ones that actually fail, fire them. Or if you want to avoid competition, the ones that succeed, fire them.
Why does that look like it failed completely?
It did.
Is it dead?
You have to
Yeah, that was...
You have to unfortunately roll a defensive separate times.
I am so sorry I did this to you now. I really am.
Hey, I'm rolling the same amount of dice too. It's just in the real world. thankfully my cat is busy distracted by birds outside, or she'd be over here trying to bat at the dice.
Okay. 1, 2.
Let's see.
Ooh,
Did
and
any
that
of these
one.
succeed against your rolls?
Okay, that's last 1, 2.
What are you rolling for?
5, 6.
To see if any of the goblins managed to sneak past Yuki to basically show off their sneaking skills versus her spot.
At least one of them did.
Yeah, there's 9 of them, so I'm trying to figure out how many based on their sneak skills. So I rolled 9 dice for that too. I was having to add +5 to each of them manually.
Yeah, you should. By the way, you should never invite land in any of that. They'll never get past them.
Okay, so 20.
Well, you never know. You never know.
So,
Like, even if I roll bad, it's still
No, you're right. No.
still a good roll.
Okay, 15.
You know, if you start killing them, that's less mouths to feed.
So if I'm trying to remember, sneak 15 versus spot 15. Seen or no?
actually would be seen.
Okay.
I believe as long as it matches, they will be seen.
Yeah, that's still that whole me going against them issue.
Okay. Cool. 24.
Most of them actually have to roll like almost a net 20.
Yeah.
Hey, it shows who
15.
actually has potential in terms of luck.
19. No Lyra. 27.
I hope you weren't expecting more.
So, out of all of those, only 3 of them managed to get past you. The rest of them were all spotted and, sent away, spotted and ran off as soon as you saw them. The other 3 are now sitting, basically now standing next to the kobolds that you are currently training. They're waving at you to show that they managed to get past you.
So out of the 9 of you that came, only 3 of you managed to succeed.
Yes, mistress.
Impressive. Excellent. Impressive. You will take part in the training sessions that I have, and when I finally deem that you're ready to go out for a real challenge to test your true skill, you will be given a mission. For now, hone your skills and improve for your next task.
So you now have 5 members of your guild who are now working. The kobolds are, would be 1 level higher than the goblins in this case. So basically,
I gave you cannon fodder.
Yeah, 2 kobolds, 3 goblins. That'd be listed on your guild sheet.
Any male, any female, just all male.
Well, the kobolds are female. Let's see. When it comes to the goblins, roll, somebody roll, 3 different people, you, and Murky both roll a 1d2 for me.
2s are females, 1s are males. Let's see what we get. 2 more people?
Ow, ow, you're it.
No, I roll 1.
Alright.
Okay, so 2 males, 1
There
female.
you go.
2 males, 1 female. Alright. I thought you were gonna make a. I thought when you said roll, I'm going okay. Roll a perception. To what? Figure out if they're male or female. I think I'll pass.
No, it's just it's just one of those. You know, it's easier just to roll random and. Roll that.
Yeah. So
Hey, we all know you like the male version. Don't worry.
So Dorith walks back into your guild house. Well, I hope one. Okay, only 3. I hope 3 will suffice for now.
The others have gone. The other 6 have gone outside to go back to the shrine that they set up for Sarah.
Well, these 3 managed to pass, at least the first test. Now they must hone their skills and then acquire the knowledge to be able to accept the first mission that is given to them.
Now, about a finder's fee.
Yes. 5 gold per head.
How about 3 gold and you kill 1 person of my choice? It's nobody anywhere near here, don't worry. It's a previous client of mine who refuses to pay.
What are the details on this client?
I give him the details. Alright, sorry. God, I keep screwing that up because of your voice. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I don't have a female voice.
Yeah, I can tell. He gives her the details on what city, what the establishment is, and appearance. Also what race, obviously.
Okay. Is this a very powerful person, or is just someone that pissed you off? Needless.
I loaned them money, and well, they returned it.
A slight.
Leave the details with me. I will get in contact with you in a short while, whether or not to accept the mission.
I'll send you a paper with all the details on it in case you forget them.
Of course, the one question is, what world is this in? Is this in Sarah/Hector's world? Is that the only world that you?
This is the material plane.
No. Because this is a completely different world from the world that with Ashram in it.
Oh, okay.
It's still the material plane. It's just a completely different world.
Oh, okay. It wouldn't be in Ashenrim, and it wouldn't be in this. It'd be sort of. Basically, I mean, I don't know. Does Ashen? I don't know enough about Ashenrim, I suppose. Does Ashenrim have?
Ashram exists in the same world as Ravenwood and this group that's calling themselves the Alliance. Along with the let's see what else. Basically some other stuff that was going on in there until they went through a portal and ended up in Darkhaven, which was ruled by vampires.
Okay, so in Ashenrim, are there basically human settlements?
No. But there would be human settlements in the same world as Ashram, though.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Okay. He gives her the details that it's in one of the, that it's one of those
Yuki's
settlements.
world.
It's
So that's right. It's Yuki's world too. Yuki, Hector, and Sarah's world.
Okay, yeah. So it's in that world. It's a port town. The guy owns a keep, or not keep, an inn.
So probably Ravenwood. Ravenwood would be recognizable.
All right, it'd probably be Ravenwood then. Yeah, he goes back. I suppose there's probably plenty of scrap paper just lying around the Citadel.
Yeah, but especially since Cynthia's brought back a load.
Yeah. So he writes out the contract, and gives a gold to one of to just some passerby to take it to the Razgrees Haven. Also, I have to ask, is that an Ace Combat reference?
That is combat reference.
I love you.
So I accept the letter of details and I take that and then disappear and meet up with Sarah.
Oh?
Yeah, so one of our fellow members has asked me to take care of someone that he loaned money to.
Hmm.
He wants that individual gone.
I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome back.
So I am offering to you if you would like to come along. This would be a good experience for some of my followers, nonetheless. And whether or not you want to send anyone along or come yourself.
Well, I have stuff to do, but I could probably send this skeleton with you, just to collect the body.
I thought you would say that. But nonetheless, we leave in 2 days' time.
How do you plan to get there?
Good question.
Does anybody know how to do? I know you can teleport, but can you teleport vast distances?
You mean plane shift, or?
Well, you know how to get back to that world. Plane shifting wouldn't work anyway. Plane shifting would get you to the Shadow Plane, for example. Of course, if you had direct communication with the Shadow Queen, you might be able to barter a passageway somehow of getting there, because she might know a way since she was able to get back and forth between here and the Shadow Plane. But you haven't discussed that with her yet. If you have some way of teleporting once you get into your back to your home world, you'd be able to do it because basically the portal is up on a mountain surrounding Ashram, overlooking Ashram, but mostly hidden from view from Ashram. So you need to find some way of getting there to there. Now you know how to get to Sarah would know how to get to Ravenwood from Ashram, but getting down to the passageway that she took to get there to begin with was sealed behind her. That's why it took Tormenta a long time to get to her. So you would need some kind of teleport, some kind of portal, besides the one in the Nexus, or some sort of bartering to get to your location and back.
Keep in mind, he didn't give you a deadline at all.
We should find a way to tame griffins. So if we need to go somewhere really fast, just take the griffins.
Wait a minute,
Lokar's not happy with that concept, but he's not in earshot of you, so.
Oh, what?
Well,
are you a griffin or are you something close related?
Lokar would call himself a griffin, but go on, Yuki. What were you saying?
Well, what I was gonna say is, how long do you think it would be for me to expand the knowledge on my teleportation jutsu to encompass other people moving vast distances?
Wasn't it ruled out that only Yuki is it, though?
Yeah, I think we did have a ruling on that at one point.
I do have teleport, but I need to actually know the area myself.
Put it this way, it could only be used to,
we need a flying boat.
in areas that are familiar and can only be used once a
Okay,
day.
somehow Trayan managed to come in at the exact time just to tell you that you could not, that's not something you can do with that feat. I don't know how he knew that, because he doesn't seem to be listening in otherwise. But he just suddenly appeared in the Twitch chat form. It is eerie.
Clearly, he is psychic. In other words, please don't fuck with him. I don't want to die.
Lawyers are the most evil thing.
Well, I'll put it this way. He's not in the D&D game, and I was asking a strict question to Grizz only, so I really don't give a shit about his opinions right now. Since he already decided to blow me off.
Well, I'm pretty sure, again, you'd have to send me a link to your ninja powers so I can actually sit there and review them, but thinking that we did already rule on that at one point. But like I said, I will give it a second look just to see what the whatever the I'm losing my words all of a sudden. I hate that.
We need flying mounts. Best way to travel. That's not teleportation.
Yeah, but if we want to go there by foot too, we have to exterminate a city, which is out of our power right now. So I guess that mission's gonna have to wait.
Can we graft wings onto a horse?
Do we have a grafter?
I mean, I have
I
teleport, guys.
put wings on my horse.
You need to.
But
be
it's a
grafted.
bone horse.
Yeah, the only other way you could do this is if you begged Thorn for assistance. And I'm not sure if
Am I being cut out, guys?
No, you're not.
What were you saying, Anthony?
I have teleport.
Yeah. Why don't we just use Anthony to teleport? He could just
You
teleport
guys
the
keep
people.
saying all these 7 other things. It's like, yeah, I just have teleport, guys.
I don't know.
That's
I
the thing I
kind of
can
want
do.
a second option.
Wait, can't you
other
just
than teleport.
scry in an area?
That
Scrying
works.
is viewing. It's not. Oh yeah, that's right. You teleport to. Sorry.
Yeah.
Scry, then you teleport to that. For yes, scrying.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to be in the same world though.
A player ship is too inaccurate to do that.
Well, that it wouldn't work because it's the same plane.
Yeah, that's why one thing it's suggesting is to find a way of communicating back with the Queen of Shadows and seeing if she's willing to give you a hand that way. Or you just wait until you can actually, find another path there on your own.
I don't get it. Why isn't teleporting an option?
I believe it's an option. Just if you scry, then you could probably do the teleport so you know the location. What do you think, Anthony?
I
Are you guys
mean-
going to talk in character about this, or are you just going to continue to talk out of character? Because I'd rather you have this discussion in character to figure stuff out.
Hmm.
I mean, we do have a cleric, don't we? Hector can scry us up where we need to go.
I don't think that's an ability I have, is it?
Now, the problem with that sort of thing is, again, you have to be in the same world in order to make that work properly. And every moment you're within sight of Ashram, it's the possibility you'll get noticed.
That's true. So wait. Is everybody in the party known associates of Sarah, or are some of them, or are they a bit short on intel?
I have no idea what's up with Sarah's whatever.
I'm not a magic guy, so honestly, when you guys talk magic and shit,
They have no clue
Oh, they don't have any.
about
clue?
everybody else.
Oh well, fuck yeah. We could just not send Sarah. Done.
Actually, since they're
But-
hostile to outsiders, it doesn't matter if Sarah's with you or not. They see outsiders standing up there. They will come and investigate, discover your portal, and then all shit will rain down.
Yeah.
unless the outsider goes invisible,
Doesn't matter.
then goes to the
Doesn't
portal, and then once
Doesn't
he's
matter.
through,
They can
Doesn't matter.
There's plenty of other ways to detect outsiders.
Pokeball.
It doesn't matter if you're invisible or
What's
not.
that?
They will still they'll still see you.
Also, there's
Plenty of other ways
okay,
to
how to
disguise
disguise.
as well.
So he disguised himself as one of the people.
Have fun with that.
Either way, we could just put this one on the back burner.
Fidget spinner.
What do they look like?
Huh?
They look like
What do
Sarah.
these people look like?
Yeah, how are they detecting us? I mean,
It came in 4 different.
Bells and all that.
elves? I mean,
Guys, we're getting we're getting majorly off topic here.
Yeah, just don't worry about it. Just
Outer side.
seriously,
Let's
yeah,
just plague bomb them and get done with it.
no. Just
Outer
seriously,
side.
don't worry about it. There is absolutely no deadline.
That guy. She said she liked
There.
Yeah,
Who's
so
talking in the background?
it's in Sunset. I think it's her dad.
Okay, so I'm hearing somebody having a conversation in the background. This is going on YouTube a bit later, so it might not be a good thing.
No.
Sunset.
Anyway,
Thank you.
so now that you've made a deal with the Shadow Queen, and you've gotten supplies from Darkhaven, and have now started building your farm. You now have more members of Yuki's guild.
Yeah, I'll find some
And a
stuff
few
on
more people
my Christmas list that I started super early
Yuki.
because I
No, you
always-
can't.
Sunset.
Sunset.
Yeah, I'll mute Sunset temporarily. She has to message me in chat.
What is it,
Every time I go down here, man, for this guy.
There we go. Because I imagine that I don't want personal stuff, going over. But anyway, what was I saying? Again, I was recapping. So you've got this, and this. Cher already saw what she's doing with the Greater Shadow. Her two lesser shadows have returned. The Queen hasn't seemed to have stirred and isn't demanding them back, so she still has two lesser undead shadows with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yuki has been training her new people, and everything else is being built. There are now some rudimentary outhouses not too far from the farming area, so that fertilizer can be created from the leavings. But it's also in such a way that it's not going to drain into the farm.
So,
Well, cool.
has the Greater Shadow returned yet, or is still...
Oh, you said it was you were going to send it off with the lizard folk. That happened as soon as that would have just happened. Lizard folk is now gone. It's not going to return anytime soon.
Okay.
Okay. So Yuki needs to know whether or not there's any people that are actually requesting any type of help other than assassinations or stuff.
And that's your answer? Silence?
Well, I mean, I don't have anything else. I mean, I suppose I could.
Down to 10 prisoners now.
Wait, 10 prisoners?
Yep, well, because Sarah just sent one of them away.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
she's using it as kind of a recon, so. Oh, and Sarah, you still haven't done anything about the fact that there's now a group of 6 goblins in front of your guild, making it that it built a shrine to you.
Oh, she's gonna dedicate them a room.
You are truly a benevolent goddess. Are you sure you're evil?
She likes.
Dedicate.
For some reason, she likes most small creatures that are not either gnomes or dwarves.
Fuck those bastards.
And yet she can't speak a single thing of gnome or dwarf.
So she's gonna grant them a room. She's gonna use Unhollow on the ground for them.
Are you accepting the 6 goblins into your guild? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Excellent.
They'll be teaching the ways of dark magic too.
So list 6 goblins in your guild on your guild sheet.
Okay, so now we got to get the 10 people who were working on the outhouses. Number 1, they get. Now I don't know. Oh shit. Okay, so the people who were working on the outhouses, now we need to get them working on something else. Also, after paying them. So, Land's currently running the blacksmith shop, right?
Yep.
Do you need 10 people to haul stuff around for you?
I need people to go out and scavenge like metal and stuff and anything useful I could use them. Basically just everything useful I can use, grind down, melt down, whatever, doesn't matter to, make supplies to make crap.
So what you're saying is that you need hands. Got it.
Yes.
He gets these 10 he gets the 10 people who are working on the outhouses, and brings them to the blacksmith shop, and Solan can give them their.
So out of character, you're basically say, here's the guys who dug up holes for people to shit in. Here you go.
You just need people to collect scrap, right?
Yes, and the piles and shit that'd be left outside the town and crap that'd been all over the place.
Yeah,
What race are these guys?
Sort through they're from various races. So basically sort through the piles that the skeletons who are doing all the heavy lifting around town are just dropping in places, because the skeletons are not smart enough to sort through anything. They just are good at lifting carry orders.
Also, Chris, you know the little shrine that they make, since they count it as a religious artifact, Hollow stays permanently around it in a 40 feet radius.
This
Excellent.
is true.
Make sure to put that detail on your guild page.
Yep. So yeah, in terms of procurement of supplies, do you think 10 will suffice for now?
Well, 10 people can probably carry back enough metal and other material used to craft something.
He nods. All right. He before he leaves, you realize you're probably going to have to pay them copper, right?
With what?
You have your own personal money. And of course you're getting money.
Well, honestly, the system I've been using right now is basically, if you want something made or repaired, you bring me scrap. Which is the metal bits and crap that are around.
Have you found any scrap copper? I would assume so.
Like, people have been bringing me their payments to let me repair their crap, right?
Oh, you're talking to me? Yes. Because some of them have given you offers of like dead rats and everything like that, or occasionally mushrooms. Others have brought you.
I point a burning sword at anyone who does that.
What? The bartering system that the scavengers have used in the past has always been like food and things like that. So, an offering of food is pretty much like the offering of gold in other places. So dead rats and mushrooms are food. So this would be like gold, offering you gold for to help them with things.
Hmm. Well, there you go. So you can either, I don't know, scrap copper they bring in, you can pay them with that, or you can pay them with food. I don't really care which. Actually, what knowledge check would it be to know the exact weight of one copper coin? Or the rough weight?
I imagine it weighs the same as a penny.
Well, yeah, but
I don't know how much that is. I just know how it feels in my hand.
All right, time to Google.
I know it is somewhere.
I imagine it's in the manual somewhere. I know it is at least on 5th edition, because 5th edition has the integrated,
Okay.
things.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Apparently, one United States penny is approximately 2.5 grams. So there's.
Anyways, well, I was thinking about payment, and don't I already make all the food tokens to begin with?
Yes.
Pretty much.
So basically, when to pay these guys, all I have to do is go over where I make all the modes, grab some of the thorns, and hand each of them one every day.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna have my 2 kobolds sit there and take this loot note over to
as long as I have piles of metal and other wood. I even take large pieces of wood, because all I have to do is, like, if it's like not rotted wood, I can grind it down, sand it down or whatnot, to a handle for a sword or a tool.
Alright, so I'm gonna wait. Are you Lan or?
Yeah, that was land.
So, yeah, my kobolds are gonna take this loot pile over to land.
Yay! Metals in that pile,
More
miscellaneous in that pile, valuables in that pile, such as gold.
Well, there's half plates, full plates, chainmail, gems, jewels, and gold coins. I know that much. I just don't know the amounts.
Jewels. Me to put in something custom made, but jewels are not useful over here.
Yeah, they are.
Well, hey, you could always make a nice little art project out of a sword and just put it in a hilt.
Yep.
This is an AR gun. I can't.
Okay, well, regardless, I'm sending over what's actually usable for you.
Nothing but the best.
No,
Cool.
I don't know how many of these there are, Grizz, so.
So in other words, I actually found a little bit more permanent employment for those people. Good. Ah, crap! I didn't make the deal with them. Whatever. I can't make the deal because I wouldn't profit from anything yet. Dang it. I need to make this place grow faster. I need to make money off of it.
Which is why we need to discover what kind of quest you guys wish to do next, where you wish to go next, so that I can make a proper dungeon / mission / quest sort of thing. Yes. Without knowing where which other worlds you wish to go to, it's really difficult to actually make a proper plan, because then I'll run up writing something that never gets used, and I'll be feeling terrible about it or antsy, or wish to railroad you into it, which is bad. So.
Well, I did also, since we did wanted to kill the lizardfolk tribe, that's why I let the one lizardfolk go with a tracker undead on her.
Okay. So is that what the rest of you guys wish to do?
Sure.
Find out what's going on with those lizard folk?
Sure.
No objection.
Alright, so, sorry, my dad came in and was talking to me. So, what I heard through that was, we're killing the lizard people, right?
Yeah.
You wanna join them?
Well, I mean, he needs coin as well, so, yes.
Alright.
And besides, if we can take all of their wealth, then we now have more wealth.
Or whatever materials that they have.
Wealth isn't just measured in gold. It's measured in what you have around you.
The wealth of family and friends. Or perhaps a bunch of eggs.
Oh, hell no! Real estate and slaves, baby!
Well, you won't be getting any real estate from there, but slaves, yes.
Well, I mean, right now, it's free real estate. It's all free real estate.
If you're talking about the Nexus,
I
yeah, you've
forgot.
got plenty of real estate
How
there.
big is one square again?
400 by 400 yards?
My god, that's not a blacksmith shop anymore. That's a foundry. That's awesome.
No, that's
Let me double check.
A square here would be the size of a
I thought we did it by 100 by 100.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was 100 by 100.
Okay, that makes sense.
I converted it to feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we converted to 100 by 100 feet.
Yeah.
Each square was.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense for a business.
100 meters by 100 meters, that's what it was.
Oh,
Technically
shit.
speaking.
Oh, that's actually perfect, to be honest.
Yeah, if it's 100 meters by 100 meters, then yeah, like I said, that is no longer a blacksmith shop. That is a fucking foundry. That's awesome.
I assume it's just a small
Wait,
building.
what do you call my
on
place
the
a foundry for? I keep on
territory.
cutting in and out, so I am losing half the conversation.
Your blacksmith shop is occupying, or at least you have the property of a 100 by 100 yard.
No, that's
square.
not how big. That's not how big that is. I think they're referring to the entire square.
The entire
sector.
square.
Sector
Okay,
1.
the sector is okay. I'm sorry.
Anyways, well, my internet is cutting in and out, and for the point where you guys couldn't even hear me for some of that. So, am I going to be more used to the session, or can I get off? Because I got to figure out what's wrong with my internet.
Yeah, we're getting ready to basically start off with what the hook for the next quest is going to be. At which point,
All right.
At which point we'll meet back in 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you guys.
Yep.
So we're doing a quest to kill the lizard people.
Well, it's going to be more involved than that, but basically, the fact that you should go out there to the lizard people basically means that I know exactly which quest I'm going to draw you into in that area, because it's one I was planning on after the lizard folk anyway. So, yeah, basically, nice. So basically, the shadow eventually returns through the portal, and it still can't talk verbally, even in its now living state. It has better ways of communicating with Sarah. It explains it tracked the lizard folk not to where you were expecting, this is a couple days later, voice. The lizard folk did not lead the shadow back into a village or anything else you were expecting. Instead, it wound up at a set of ruins and headed down into what looked like an ancient dungeon of some kind, where it was greeted by a bunch of what the Shadow believed to be Templars. At which point the Shadow was very happy not to be undead anymore, because if it had been undead, the Templars would have sensed it and probably killed it, and you would have never heard from that Shadow again. So, hooray, living Shadow! So the Shadow is now back and is now basically communicating all of this to you with a series of pictures and various other senses that that Sarah alone can make sense out of.
Okay.
Sarah, what would you like to do about this?
No, we're gonna start an invade. Fuck the Templar. That lizard bitch needs to die still. She didn't want to be broken, so she earns death.
How are you going to... You have to go now and convince the other characters in character.
Hey everybody, we're going off to kill something.
Well, why no?
If I get bloodstains on this, it's your ass.
Well, apparently you like to fuck things in the ass, so...
But I don't believe in Jesus.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Low blow. Well played. Well played.
Okay, carrying on.
The new materials that can be found there. But they will sense my presence, though. And also Hector's.
Oh, so you want everybody else as the vanguard, then?
No, everybody else could do whatever they want. They could just kill everything, too.
Alright.
I'll make friends.
Your friends will be dead.
I hear the song Friends in Low Places being sung in my head. Don't know why.
So, exactly what have these people done to gain your ire? I'm rather curious now.
Well, this lizard folk that I released, her people called me a witch. An unfoul creature.
You're a lich. And he raises...
No, witch.
You called her a witch.
Oh, witch. Okay, I'm doing, they've clearly never actually heard of what a lich is if they think you're a lich. No, witch... I wouldn't label you as a witch per se, but...
Only technically speaking, she's not a witch. I mean...
And then they decided to ignore when I was trying to talk to them. I was trying to be civil at first.
Well,
they thought you were foul because you deal with the undead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that tribe.
Yeah.
The ones that were playing with the Hydra until the Hydra came up and ate one of them.
Yeah. Or Sarah's gonna twist the words. The one that sent the Hydra after us.
Actually, the Hydra didn't come after you. The Hydra was just attacking things around the swamp edge. When you guys attacked back, it fled. So.
So what you're saying is that you tried to take the diplomatic approach, but they just wouldn't listen. They couldn't get past the small-minded bigotry of those who use the undead to do their bidding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, what a horrible fate. Clearly they must be dealt with. Such intolerant people must be dealt with, he says sarcastically.
Okay. And I'm also going to do this since I can't.
Why do I feel like she's going to bitch slap you for the sarcasm?
Wait, who?
No. Since I can't diplomacy, I can always bluff. Let's see how good this bluff is. They also said your mama was fat.
And you believe that she's honest about this because she just nat 20'd it. But more to the point, she got a 48.
He thinks for a moment. I don't actually remember her that much. Maybe she was fat?
Maybe my mama is fat.
Word of advice, if you're going to be rolling a bluff against other players, try to put it in public chat, please.
Yeah, also...
I can't really do that. It's how it's...
So... Anyway, he clears his throat. Regardless, you don't need to convince me to go on this quest.
I know. Then I'm giving you a motive.
I already had a motive.
No, you got a bigger motive.
I do?
What was your motive?
I suppose she is quite heavy.
It's to show them what you endured.
He is contracted to Sarah to help her take down the frickin' Aasimar. Also, he's half tiefling, so Aasimar, they're assholes. Let's kill them.
Looks like for Sarah, of course.
Yeah, except for her, because honestly, she hits a sympathy button. One of the few sympathy buttons he has.
She has a thing for kobolds.
Kobolds are adorable. I gave those lizard folk a chance. They ruined it. Now they face death.
So you out of character, you let loose the not the kobold, you let loose the lizard folk that you have been torturing and breaking this entire time.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna make that your pet.
Don't worry, I'm still gonna get it back.
Oh, good point.
I thought you were gonna kill her.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill her. She's gonna be an undead pet.
Yeah, I haven't been here long, but with Sarah, I've gathered death is not the end for you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I could also... I could also keep her as a little trinket, too. Magic jar.
Leofire's gonna make a new religion. Well, the one group of goblins has begun believing that Sarah is a goddess because she bluffed them heavily into it.
Okay, Grizz, out of character really quick. Vecna exists in this universe, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Vecna does exist in the universe.
Okay, I'm expecting a drive-by shooting from Vecna worshippers. Step off our turf, bitch.
Yes, something along those lines is going to happen eventually. I do have. It's one of the. I've got basically a bunch of different quests over with minor overviews, basically just a few sentences here and there that I have in my head. Built up in my head. And one of them does happen to deal with Vecna.
Okay.
It really just depends on which direction you guys go.
I have some casual sacrifices to Vecna, but that's about it. We're like business partners. Except I'm a small business and he's a global empire.
Relates to anything else. It's just saying that there is something that relates to Vecna in my head.
I'm pretty sure none of you have my deity, so I really don't care.
Is there a pantheon?
No.
Anyway, So long story short, eventually we're going to kill the lizard people. Well, I increased unemployment sufficiently, so I think I'm going to call it a good note there. I should be mayor.
No.
I should be. Keep in mind, mayor is just in charge of the day-to-day shit.
Hey,
The king is the guy who profits from all of it.
Hector, how many bodies do you have in your bag of holding?
Let me check.
4.
Yeah, so will that be all for today?
Holding 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, you guys...
We're making something.
Are any of the rest of you going to object to Sarah's plan to go back to Darkhaven at this point, to follow the directions of her shadow to where the lizard folk ran to? So I need to make sure that the group has a consensus on this and not just one person.
Sure, it's something to do.
Hey, Hector, since we're gonna be creating an undead, me and you, Hector. Is that alright?
Hey, what?
Creating an undead.
Alright.
Anyway, I think I'm actually going to bail on you guys now.
That's fine. This is basically the end. But I was
Yeah,
just confirming that everybody's plans are all in line together. Anybody who didn't speak, or I can't hear because I sense it on mute because of all the background noise, unfortunately, next week, I'm sorry, not next week, the week after next, we're going to start off basically with following the trail of the lizard folk that the shadow is showing you off to. And we're going to go from there.
Actually, before I go, can you explain to me, like, what's up with what is up with Sector 2 currently?
Oh, that's an area that you don't have a shield around. And I was just basically mapping it out. It's there because that's where Lokar's tower is. The broken tower.
Oh, okay.
It's outside the range of your field, so that you couldn't be there. You couldn't leave it at night because of the swarm. But now there is no more swarm. You can come and go even at night, but it's not protected from the creep if the creep comes back.
Okay, so like hypothetically, if we were in increase the range of the shield, we would pretty much gain access to 8 other sectors at the same time. Well, then again, we don't know that because we haven't even tried it yet. So, never mind.
Basically, you found out that there are various relays in each section area, and you just need to start repairing them. Basically, from what you understand, is that the relays, along with the portals themselves, require something along the lines of various dragging components, or possibly Mind Flayer components, considering that the other relay, one of the portals got opened with a Mind Flayer body. You currently only have one Mind Flayer, and Sarah, it's Sarah's child, so Sarah will not want you to hurt it. Sarah will probably kill you if you try to hurt it.
Well,
I still have a dragon baby in the oven.
Exactly.
God. All right. Well,
okay.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Good night.
Okay. Hey, Chris, can I assist Shadow in creating undead?
Oh, what kind of undead?
A ghoul and a gas.
How much can he control?
Huh? He has enough to control them. Out of 108, yeah, he could control the amount of hit dice he could put into them.
Yes, but I was actually chatting with another GM the other day, and they were explaining that really when it comes to even necromancers, not just dread necromancers, but regular necromancers, which he isn't even one, they usually can only have 1 or 2 minions, period. And that the amount of hit dice control depends on just how strong the minion is. You have a ton of minions, and get away with it. We established it in the beginning. But, since most of them are being used for other stuff, like, repairing the Citadel, it's like I'm not, complaining too much about it.
But actually, how the undead goes, you have a certain amount of undead you control, amount of the hit points that they have into the bar.
Let's not get into this week. We'll come back to it in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Did we ever actually divvy up the loot? Did anyone appraise that and it cut out? Because I don't have a